Hello.
Hello. So, you said this, I don't think intentionally, but it had me cackling and trying to suppress myself for the entire minute of lead up getting ready for this. You said, "Okay, we're doing a live," which got me thinking of I don't know if you're familiar with the works of Vin Diesel.
I am
Sure.
quite familiar with the works of Vin Diesel.
So apparently, in recent years, he's been not, making prominent movies and TV shows. Oh no, he's been doing weird shit.
Yeah!
So it was a deliberate reference.
No, it wasn't a deliberate reference, but
But do you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
His music career?
Oh, I don't know about his music career. I was just thinking he's got a lot of really, really bad Facebook Live events he's put out.
Oh,
One of them is 10 minutes of just being in his pocket. And there's
right.
another one where he clearly just started doing this in the middle of a party and even us with nobody on we're not fucking celebrities, we're not famous people, we're people who are doing this for fun, and there's a few people who are like, wow, that's neat, and they watch, right?
Sure.
Even we still you separate when you're not on camera from when you're on camera to make sure that you're doing something fun for people to watch.
Yeah.
But clearly, and in a room full of famous people, he flips out his phone and it must have been partying in the midst of one of the Fast and Furious movies, because there's a bunch of other co-stars, and the nearest person, the only person who's really visible because of all the shaky cam and weird angles, because this dude just it's Vin Diesel being like, hey, what's up? And there's Michelle Rodriguez right next to him, looking extremely uncomfortable, hey, what are you doing, buddy? And 10 times in a row for 30 seconds, he's just we're doing a live. We're doing a live. Yeah, we're doing a live. We're doing a live. Yeah, guys, we're doing a live.
I love that. That has the energy of that clout chaser YouTuber kind of personality. You know the one I'm talking about, where they're the reasons why they had to ban cameras at certain events and things like that. Where because everyone there is just whipping out their phone, being like, "Yo, I'm here with this person," and just shoving a camera in that person's face without asking.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the photos of famous places like the Tower of Pisa or the Eiffel Tower, where you just see all the tourists doing all the poses,
Yeah.
holding things
Yeah.
like that, except it's somebody just doing a slow sweep at VidCon and a bunch of people going, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, fam? Hey,
Yeah.
what's up? What's up, Jeans fam? It's me, your boy.
But that also works very well because when you look at the Fast and the Furious stars, Vin Diesel's pretty low on the list. What is Vin Diesel known for? He is known for Fast and the Furious.
The thing is, he's the most famous person in those movies.
The Rock.
He did the Chronicles of Riddick, which was not a well-received or well-known movie.
I fucking love Riddick, but still.
I really love it. It's nerd. It's got nerd cred.
Yeah.
It has cult status, but when it came out as a movie, people were like,
yeah, no one.
what is this?
Yeah, no one gave a shit about it when it first came out. But
Anything good.
But I disagree that he's not the most famous person in that. They have The Rock.
Yeah.
They have The Rock in there. That's
well, they have it after the franchise actually became successful. They didn't have it when they decided to make the car movie.
Yeah, but now Vin Diesel's the relic of that. You know, he's the only one who appeared in the original that is still appearing in the show.
Would it be? Is he not the beating heart? I've never seen a Fast and the Furious movie. I assumed he was sort of the beating heart.
He
that kept
is,
the movie
but
back.
holy shit, they brought in way more famous people than him. Who are now mainstays of the series. You expect them to be in the movie.
Yeah, they got Jason Statham in there.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Really? Jason Statham?
I heard the name.
He does action movies, he's bald, and he isn't Bruce Willis. That's the best I can do.
Wait, So you're saying Bruce Willis isn't in the Fast and the Furious?
So you're saying Jason something is Vin Diesel?
Wait.
No.
Wait,
No.
Okay, he was in Crank and like a bunch of other action movies, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Jason Statham. Let's go shoot some guys and steal some cars, bro. Bang bang." And that's like his career.
Yeah.
Which one has a whole family of rednecks, and they go to the family house of rednecks, and they do some redneck stuff, and then I think the government is after them, but then the rednecks kill the government.
What?
Is that
Shrek 2?
Well, no.
Rambo?
No, it was. I haven't seen the movie. I just saw the trailers, and the trailers like in this movie, there's guys sort of living out in a rural area, and they own guns. And Hobbs in I think the movie is called Hobbs and Shaw, but I can't remember.
Yeah, no, that's a Fast and the Furious spin-off. They're not rednecks.
Hobbs and Shaw isn't.
That's Jason Statham and The Rock, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Is that which of those two bald men is Jason?
The not Rock.
I always forget. Is The Rock the actor or is Dwayne the actor?
They're both the actor.
He's
It's
Dwayne
a
Johnson, who is also known by the wrestling name The Rock.
it's a Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus thing. They're both actors.
Hey, so how do we feel about The Rock? Do we like him?
I love The Rock. The Rock is amazing.
Like I know we all like. Well, who's Terry?
I really liked him in Jumanji.
Yes.
Jumanji.
I don't think I've seen a single movie with him that I haven't liked.
I haven't watched a movie that he's been in for the past 5 years, so this seems like a good time to run off and take a piss at the beginning of stream.
Oh yeah, great professionalism. We're just going to be talking about The Rock for the next minute. I'm fine about that. Let's gush about The Rock. Race to Witch Mountain.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think I've seen that. I've seen Jumanji. God, what else has he been in?
What? The Tooth Fairy? Come on.
The Tooth Fairy. God, I forgot about that one. There was the one where he was like a quarterback, but he has a kid.
Right.
And that one was fantastic.
I haven't seen that one.
Apparently the stuntman, so there's like a scene in that where The Rock is supposed to get hit fucking hard. And the stuntman had to do it like 12 times. And they asked him on like the 11th take, being like, "Hey, you got one more in you? It's just not selling." He's like, "Yeah, okay." And on the last one, he just got fucking wrecked. Like, I'm pretty sure he broke a rib on it. And they're like, "That's the one. That's the one."
Man, those stunt guys.
Stunt
Hey,
guys.
was he in Get Smart?
Yes, he was in Get Smart.
You're right, because him and Michael from The Office smooched.
Alright, I'm back. Did you do good improv while I was gone?
We talked. You ever think about how like Michael from The Office and The Rock smooched?
I was about to say, like, oh, there must have been good improv because I just see Ken frozen and spooling down like a jet engine, and then
Just
oh, there we go. That's why. Okay.
Just referring to Steve Carell as Michael from The Office.
Yeah, that's who he is.
It fucking got me.
When did they bone?
They didn't bone. They smooched.
They smooched and Get Smart.
They smooched and Get Smart, and then
Oh, was it like a homophobic? Haha, the joke is that they're two guys kiss.
No, the joke was that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was gonna blow up a concert hall where the president was, and he was gonna beat up.
And
Michael
he
from
was
The Office.
he was pretty handily kicking Steve Carell's ass
And Steve
until
Carell just gives him a smooch.
and then The
And
Rock's
he goes,
just like, "I don't know how to process this information," and Steve Carell kicks his ass and kills him.
We're supposed to be fighting, and you smooched me. And Steve Carell goes, "Yes, it's a legitimate technique." And then, like, I think he uppercuts him as the train goes under a bridge, or maybe he just kicks him off a moving van into a plane. I don't quite remember. But
I
then,
have the low bubbling and creeping feeling that I'm going to be able to articulate why that unsettles me in like 2 to 3 years when it enters the discourse, you know?
yeah,
Like in 2022, I'm going to be like, Oh, it's gay stunning, and that's going to be something that Twitter brought up, and people are going to know what I mean when I say it. But for now, I'm just like,
Well,
that seems like I should be objecting to it, but I have no idea why.
I'm okay. I don't think.
Before you cut me off,
Okay.
I want to get ahead of the discourse. I want to get ahead. Steve Carell was not gay stunning because earlier in the movie, the hot leading one does the same thing to the big guy, and that's when they kill him. So it wasn't. It was also. So then he got to invent hetero stunning. And even his boss is like, "Good job, Steve. That was a good thing to do." And if we can't trust the CIA, who can we trust when it comes to what's good and right?
Well, I got a clipboard. I can't jump off of trusting the CIA with anything that isn't doomery as fuck, so,
Speaking of governments that we should totally be trusting right now.
HOME. Home. Let's interrogate that. Home is where the heart is. So off center, like most humanoids, they're right in the middle, like most beast folk. Maybe one lung, small and rich in fatty deposits for fine stew, like the Morotorgs. A house should be a home. So what about a tent, a lean-to, a castle? How many homes can a home be at once? What about a longhouse, a houseboat, a wagon, a caravan? Is a home a destination, a starting line, or both? Our heroes have started working off shifts. Jane, Croquill, and Bilgy stay up late, sail way past dusk. Sun, Tiana, and Kennedy are waking up before dawn, sailing well into the day. Ricker's on his usual shift with an extra meal in rotation. Crew's too sparse for Sun to work with his partner. Warbles doesn't like a disturbed sleep schedule. Jane, however, is resilient as ever. Hell more at sail. But everyone is feeling a little far from home. Long hours, long miles. Family dinner's not the same when half the family's at lunch. Gig's halfway done. Welcome to Bloodwine. So how's it going, friends?
Pretty good.
Good.
Can I just say I'm still proud of our intro? I'm really... It's one of those things where so many sessions later I'm just like, I made that. Will and I did good.
Yeah. There's one clip in it, like my hair is like long and like kind of wavy, but in like just a bad way. And like every time I see it, I'm like,
Well, you know, if you don't like it, then you need to wait for Will to do something funnier than putting the antlers to his head.
That's true.
Well, that's a testament to all the effort I've been putting in all this time.
Well, visually fun.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I spend a lot of time going,
Like a fucking shopkeeper from Zelda CD.
You find yourselves in the midst of a wild forest.
Yeah, just gotta fix the cam there. There we go.
Okay.
That could be the new clip.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so you guys are in the SS Bilgewater. Do you remember what was going on when we met?
We had just gone through a bridge, like underneath a bridge, that mercenaries were attacking us, and we just sort of impromptu attack them back. Going back through the footage, I'm like, man, we assaulted a lot of government ships.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're being paid to do it. And...
Were we paid to... I don't know if we were paid to fire on government ships and things like that.
The thing is, like, compared to the last campaign, this one's meant to be a lot more like, well, I'm not going to make you always be in hiding and hiding from the next boat over. I want to give you some firepower, some ability to, like, sail on through. And what that means, apparently, is let's blow some shit up.
Yeah. Listen, after watching Smokey and the Bandit, I think that, no, we're doing the right call.
We didn't even give it a second thought to the morality of us fucking peppering these ships or like causing a goddamn landslide to some mercenary.
You gave Jane the decision of like, are we gonna start shooting at these people? And Jane is like, yeah.
Yes.
To be fair, I feel like the vibe for "Are we gonna start shooting?" is like Sun going, "Yep," shotgun click.
Yeah.
It's Jane going, "Yep," crossbow load, and then Crowquill going, "Yep," and loading a handgun, even though Crowquill was blind, and everyone going, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah.
Then Croco whips out her gun certification, expert level certification.
It's why pirate campaigns are so much fun, is because by default everyone's the rogue, and then it's just levels of how far down the road you want to go.
Yeah. What kind of rogue are you?
Ocean Rogue, take me home. Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you remember what time it was? I believe we just left Westwatch. I think we might have left basically like, and you leave port.
Yeah, that was basically what it was. We did like 1 unit of travel and that's about it.
All right, so I think we're still pinned somewhere on the map.
Yeah.
Do you know what time of day it was?
Let's see, we left there, I think it would probably be around afternoon because we left the previous location like crack of dawn, like at 2 in the morning, and then we would have gotten there around like mid-morning, I think, and then that would be noon.
All right.
Or maybe like just after.
In that case, it's noon. Who is doing what and where on the boat?
Sleeping, I think. I take night shift, don't I?
Hey, real quick, I want to be grossed out for a second because the sweat from my hand has glued these 2 dice together.
Thank you for that contribution, Gabe.
This would be, conveniently speaking, if you're working the night shift, this would be about the time that you peel your face off the pillow and go,
Then I'm probably doing that. Peeling my face off the pillow, maybe getting some breakfast.
All right, Crowquill would be the same, as well as Bilgy. Meanwhile, Sun, you'd be in the morning shift with everyone else. What are you doing?
I'm trying to work on my gun, but I guess I might have to actually be sailing the boat.
I was gonna say for Crowquill is basically in parent mode, sort of, where I'm like letting warbles out even if I'm not doing anything. Just like I would have to wake up in the morning, let warbles out, and then go back to sleep for another like couple of hours.
Yeah, so I guess Sun is sort of manning the ropes, making sure the sails are all done, and every once in a while he keeps going over to tinker with the turret, not in any like meaningful way, but just in a like oh, is that screw tightened on enough? And then it's like, oh, Sun, wait, the ropes. He's like, oh, right.
So you've been chastised a few times by Ken and you going, just wait, I'm going to finish. You've been bulldogging on this all week. You haven't given me any time to catch up. Meanwhile, you're above deck with, you'd be working there with Tiana right now, so just the 2 of you, unless somebody else is out there. But 2, at the bare minimum, can be keeping things steady on the boat. So currently, the wind is going nice and strong to the east.
Okie dokie.
You guys are currently heading into a place that's known as the Thick, in terms of like the trader highways. This is the stormy sea, and there's big clumps of storm that kind of twist and roil around each other.
Is that spelled with 2 C's? The Thick. Is that spelled with 2 C's?
I think I have to go with CK, because if it was CC, this would be a much deadlier session.
Oh, jeez, okay.
So in terms of getting through here, your ship is actually, especially with the way that you rigged it and got it ready, you're pretty versatile and able to go through some thicker rain, but the ship that you're leading is going to need to go in basically snaking through the clear areas. What is everyone up to? And which way are you going on the
I
map?
believe we're heading south. What's our next destination?
You'd be heading to Newtown.
Oh, okay, so we're heading southwest. It's going east. So yeah, we'll head primarily south for this one.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's on the ground.
Good thing you have like a million other dice to roll.
Yeah, I have like 24 d6, and I'm only rolling 4 of them at a time, so they kind of just fall on the ground, and then I go, eh. They fall, I go, eh. And then at the end, I go, oh, it was 7 this time. Good work.
You must not have a pupper.
Actually, where...
Do you have a dog?
No. I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna fake you out like that.
Just fucking whips out a dog, being like, "Papa."
There's a little nick in this die right here that I think even on the map screen is visible, and that is puppo damage.
Yep. I've seen many a dice succumb.
The puppo damage.
So currently, you guys are going like dead southward. You're going along the coast. There's a few coastal ships and like forts that are eyeing you. Uncomfortably, you see the one that actually fired on you during your training mission as you're going southward. You move like 2.5 squares south.
Damn.
The ship behind you is following a little nervously. The wind is keeping nice and steady. By now, it's getting closer to the early afternoon. What's everyone up to?
I guess I'll take Son's place on the ropes, so that he can go work on his stuff.
Yeehaw! That's me running down below deck.
All right. So basically, like as you're running down, like Jane, you go and you scrape down the last bit of like a bit heavy for a breakfast. You put a plate down. Rooker goes, puts it in the dirty dishes side. You can see him go get a whole bunch of like heavy brunch ready. He holds out a plate. Jane, you go up. Sun goes down, just grabs it. You pause for a second, going, it's a little breakfasty for a lunch. Meanwhile, you jump back down into the munitions room. So, want to give me a roll? I'll also roll one for Kenanye, who would be working in your absence. If you're heading down to the room, he's going to roll with you as well for at least one more shift.
And Gabe, remind me, what's the final gold total of this turret?
The final value is 37.5 gold.
Jesus.
So plus 18, and then I'll give you another one.
All right.
I think we've all must have been putting a little bit of gold into this.
Oh, I definitely have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've put in like 12 gold into this thing.
And another plus 17.
Plus
Or,
7.
sorry, plus 22, not plus 17.
It's 22. Okay, that's a nice big chunk out of the way.
So what's that leave us at right now?
Let me see. We are at 29.01 gold, and that puts us at 77%.
Oh, man.
All right, almost got all the pieces put together. You just need a little bit more progress. You're getting the last of the pieces aligned, and the screws in, and the zeros, like the sights, all that stuff should be good. The rest of the progress is exclusively going to be on integrating the dwarven mech head thing.
Yep.
For now, though, once you hit 80%, you can install it on the ship deck and use it in manual fire mode.
As soon as we get into any sign of trouble at 80%, you know what Sun's doing. Like, immediately, he's just like, someone tripped on the dock, and, like, Sun's just on the turret being like, who do I fire at? Who's to blame?
Well, yeah, this thing has, like, shields on the front to protect someone who's using it in manual mode. Like, it's the safest place on the ship. Except for a big target, I suppose, if anybody wants to take out, the machine gun. But
The machine gun. Yeah.
hey,
If I were to be shooting at something on a ship, it'd be the machine gun.
Yeah.
So you point the machine gun at the target so that you have all that shielding to benefit from.
Exactly. Daka.
Speaking of which, what is Crowquill up to?
Crowquill is sort of taking that final little bits before Rooker's ready, trying to prepare a tool that I spoke to you about, just sort of experimenting with how the process would work from a ritual aspect. Because
All right, so you're
I'm
you're
trying to
sitting
build
there
tools.
taking up the bulk of like the inside table. There's like a pile of salt. There's a little like candle lit. There's a book which like is there primarily for ritual usage, but is actually just kind of empty with scrawlings on it. It's moved from place to place and rites are spoken, but there's nothing actually written on it. You move things from side to side, start prepping a sigil, and kind of go, and you brush it aside a little. Want to roll a ritual for me?
Alrighty. This isn't for any particular progress. I just want to experiment with how it's done. Let's see. So that would be 12, 22, 24, 29.
All right. So you're sitting there working on a ritual. You're muttering bit by bit. Want to add plus 29 to your progress, Gabe?
I would love to.
As far as you know, Crowquill, all your magic is just going into a hole. You're not making any progress.
God damn it! You're okay, so after that, I'm just kind of like, what's going? God damn it! And I assume at that point, Rooker kind of hands me a plate, and I just kind of grab it and eat angrily.
All right.
I didn't intend to help you out, Gabe. God.
So above decks, Jane, you're sitting there. You tighten the ropes, and you're looking out onto the ocean for where to cut in, because now you're going to have to start heading westward into the actual fit itself. That seems to be the right moment. The wind shifts to like a northwesterly, nice and sharp.
All right, there she blows. Let's go.
Yahoo! All right, so when we did all that ship customization, you guys have a big old Genoa sail.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep that up, you'll have to go through basically only the like safest parts of the storm, which to be fair is what your host ship is able to travel through. If you take it down, you'll lose a decent bit of speed bonus, but you're going to be able to be a little bit more dangerous with the storm.
I mean, if our host ship isn't able to do it, then what the heck's the point? We need to stick with it to escort.
Well, counter argument. If we can go on ahead, we can scout the area.
Counter argument. I can scout ahead with warbles.
Fair enough. All right, leave the sails up.
Yeah, let's do safe route.
All right, you leave your sails unfurled and head into the thick. It's a little bit more bare knuckle. Your ship kind of lurches back and forth a lot more than you otherwise would. It is currently the late afternoon. Want to go back to the map screen there?
Map.
We are going to do this kind of on the map screen, kind of on our own here. So I'll do one roll here. You move 4/5 of a square.
4/5 is most of a square.
Oh,
Most of a
sorry.
square.
When you said 4/5, my mind just went 1/5.
1/5.
Which wasn't even accurate to where I placed it.
So you're You're sailing really quickly through this open channel, and you can see that things are starting to narrow a little bit. The northwesterly wind is pushing a storm that you were hoping to cycle around so that it's going to intersect with another kind of clump. You can yourselves make a risky turn. It wouldn't be that bad for your host ship. It would see it and be able to accommodate you. Or you can lose some time by heading with this wind to the northwest to try and get past the storm.
Well,
But
that's
before
it.
you make that decision, what's everyone doing on the ship?
Sales, probably. So I'd be one of the main people making this decision.
I'd probably go up and be scouting on this one.
All right, you want to give me a ritual or druid roll? Let me know which one.
I'm just gonna let it be Druid. Wait, which one was the one where I don't take over?
Ritual.
Then I'll do Ritual. That was not a very good roll. That is a 20.
Colors downwind.
Well, we got colors, potential ships.
That's towards.
That's
downwind.
Downwind.
Okay.
So in the
that's
direction
the
we're
risky
heading
turn.
and slightly south.
That's the risky turn. Is colors. Okay, I think let's go around. Let's go north and lose some time, but be safe about it.
So go northwest with the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys keep with it a little ways. You're making sure you don't tip too much. Warbles gets a little bit closer in as you start to get around the edge of the cloud. You move another, this time 2/5 of a square. So just kind of onto the opposite side of the line there. At which point you can see that there's 3 ships. It looks like they're actually heavy gunners that are making their way through the storm. They are big enough to take you out if they get too close, and you can see that they've just noticed you. They're going to get blocked by a storm cloud, but otherwise they're probably turning to try and engage. The wind is still heading northwest.
Disengage. What would be the easiest way to disengage from them?
The easiest way would be probably to turn back sort of like a southwesterly. You would end up on the other side of a rain cloud. That being said, you would be heading deeper into the thick where you kind of just don't have any information.
What about our host? How's it handling the weather?
You can see that it seems to be doing fine, especially because you guys have that extra sail up. It's just following more or less where you've charted a course. It isn't struggling or anything like that. You can see that because this is a big multi-masted ship, there's a few different places where 1 or 2 smaller extra sails have been taken down, but really it's more or less able to handle things.
I say disengage as much as we possibly can. So southwest into the thick.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
So if you want to give me, basically if we're doing things diagonally, just a 1 diagonal square, you make your way past a few storm clouds and you know that they're still coming. Warbles is following them a little behind, going colors. That being said, you're in the middle of some spray and shifting clouds. You can see a few ships coming to one side. You might be able to turn and go right past them, especially with your weapons array, give them a quick blast to get them off your ass. Or you could turn, potentially be flanked by the the national ships coming at you, and potentially be followed by these strange ships. You're just starting to see them through the thickness of the clouds here.
Well, the first option sounds a lot better.
Yeah, they'll follow us to Newtown and ambush us when we leave.
All right. You guys...
Well, are they...
Oh, Gabe's
are
gone.
they going to be...
Quick, come back! There we go.
Would they be following us only, or would they be also following our other ship? Like if we don't have
like the ships you see in the thick of the storm, or the national ships that were coming for you.
the national ships in the short. Sorry, the heavy gunners in the storm, in the thick.
So the national ships are looking for basically all rookery ships right now, so long as you're carrying these codes. Every single nation out there is trying to sabotage this so they can get the inside information.
Right.
That being said, your ship, the Bilgewater, is basically just this rando other ship that's swinging around. The ships you see coming ahead, you genuinely you're reacting to, oh shit, the winds are shifting, we have to choose now, and there's some sails ahead.
Okay. I see.
So are you turning in towards the sails?
But what are our options again?
Basically, away from the sails where you might be tailed and you might end up interacting with the national ships, or you can do like a close call where you move side to side with them. They would be able to get a broadside in on you, and you would be able to get one in on them. This could be a conflict if they're hostile ships, but otherwise it would be a good way to lose the ones that you picked up a little bit ago.
That second option sounds pretty good.
They both sound bad.
They both sound bad. I don't want to interact with the national ships, and I mean, if they're gonna get a broadside, I can always hex their gunners so they don't get a good shot in.
Okay.
Well,
let's do that. Get rid of the gunners. We don't want to.
Well, we don't know that they're enemies yet.
They're chasing us.
Well, the national one is. The one that we're going to head towards, we don't know. And so we don't want
Just to make sure that, because I feel like we might be communicating ineffectively or like mixing some signals. Yeah. The national ships are heavy gunships, so they're the same entity.
Okay.
Okay. Heavy gunships they're also the ones that we picked up earlier.
Yeah.
We got heavy gunships behind us, heavy gunships ahead of us.
You have no idea what the ships are like ahead of you. They could be a fishing trawler, they could be adventurers, they could be a merchant ship.
Which is why I don't want us.
The most thin of possibilities be another rookery ship.
Yeah, which is why I don't want them to. I don't want us to immediately fire on them. If I see a gunner, I want to hex the gunner, but we can prepare for an attack and just hope nothing happens.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's head towards that.
Wait, what am I talking about? Will, Omen Watcher, how do I feel about these ships and going next to them?
You're feeling good?
Let's do it! Man, I love that ability!
Hey, baby,
So, yeah.
be good.
Quill, you quickly, like, sailorly go, woe and betide, we must go deeper into the storm, you must trust me, and everyone goes, okay! You turn in.
Alright, you say so.
Kennedy gets ready just in case. You're all, like, you load your weapons and you watch, and you can see that there's a few, like, one of them that passes is, like, an adventuring ship. You can see they have some big chunk of monster they've hauled off for whatever bounty purpose tied onto the middle of their ship. They give you a compulsory wave. They're all armed to the teeth for different reasons. A little bit past them, there's a merchant ship. You can see a couple of them kind of like looking and giving you a nod. You head deeper into the storm and you seem to be fine. You make it 1.5 squares towards Newtown, and you've reached the outside of the thick.
Alright, I'm doing a crafting roll.
It's not letting me move the pin. There we go.
So basically, as you guys leave the thick, the wind shifts directly westward. You pick up the big gust, full sail, and you cruise right into Newtown. For the sake of drama, I'll say let's finish all these crafting rolls below deck. What's everyone doing, aside from the crafting roll?
I'm probably taking over for whoever was working the sails.
That was me.
Well, it would take 2, right? So I would be taking over for the other person.
Okay, so thinking. Tiana's up there.
Tiana and Bilgy were up there.
So Bilgy gives you some room. You're able
Okay.
to take over on the other sales. All right. So in terms of Ken and Yi providing for your crafting role here, he gives you 19 plus 19.
All right.
So, and Jane, you're staying on the sales, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How's the gun doing?
The gun is. Hang on a second. I'm just doing some.
We're so close that it's like one of those things where it's like, ooh, this would be so good for a little bit of expose set piece, you know?
Yeah.
I just gotta know.
All right, we are at. We are at. Something fucked up.
Ah, come on.
The tension.
I know. There we go. I've been in the 20s so long. We are at 80.08%.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
I helped.
You know? All right, so there's a clattering, like, whoa, okay. Like, very quickly, like, Croquill, you feel the whump, and you hear Jane going, you're good. You affix on one side, affix on the other. Jane, you're doing the same. And then there's a clattering. You're like, what's going on? And you move the latch out of the way. Sun runs up top going, okay. Kennedy's lifting, going, I have the box. They drag it over to the bit. They go part. Kennedy scrambles his way up. He starts screwing things in while Sun's sitting there adjusting. You get the last bit of shielding in, this big heavy thing, and as you go and zero and look down the sights, you're scanning across and you see the docks of Newtown. And as you stand up above everyone else, you look over and you see of the 3 Newtown Smasher like pillars, one of them is bent over and seems to have fallen on a section of the city.
ooh.
Oh, so those like those smasher things the last time we came in, one's fallen over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh.
The ones that were very inefficiently crushing things into powder.
Well, we're glad we weren't here to watch that. That would have been.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been nice. I hope it fell in the Redcoat mailbox.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, you guys have 2 hours to kill. You slowly sail into dock, and while you're at port, no one would dare. No one. There's so many witnesses. There's so many rookers because you're in a major city. You're good to go. Is there anything you want to do for the next little while? It's worth mentioning because it was the late afternoon, and then evening would be while you're kind of like sailing in. So it's like the dinner hour, like the later half of the dinner hour. It's kind of nighttime-y.
What time of the year is it? Is it
This
Christmas
time of year.
time? Does Christmas exist? Or like
Not
a
here.
festival?
It's something you would have celebrated back home, but over here they don't really do any of that stuff.
I would like to point out that one of my first sessions playing Bloodwine with Will was playing Lunk, the dumbass Torg.
I forgot about this. That's the whole reason.
And the whole reason why he started this bit of wearing a bunch of hats was because I was just like, we were playing it roughly around Christmas time. I'm pretty sure it was like the last session before Christmas break.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I want a Christmas festival, god damn it. And so I started running around and I just like randomly improv the Feast of Embers as like, this is the holiday that Lunk is celebrating. And he's wearing this green and red Ushanka. And it looks hideous. And he bought hats for everyone else, and then everyone else at the table is just like, yo, why the fuck is this character obsessed with hats?
That's beautiful.
That's character depth, baby.
Yeah.
It is. So you guys steer your way in. You like anchor down your ship. Is anybody going into town? Because it is the Feast of Embers. It's just they don't do the Feast of Embers much this side of the coast.
Honestly, I want to shoot something.
I'll go into town, I guess. Even
There,
to just
there might
walk
be a
around.
range in town that's open this late.
Oh, well, she's kind of mounted to the deck.
Well, wouldn't you have built the tripod for transport reasons?
That's true. All right. I'm
Was Sun
I'm-
having that entire conversation with his head, but saying your part out loud? It's just like, I want to
Yeah.
shoot stuff. Well, he's kind of mounted to the ground. That's true.
Yeah, I guess so. That does seem to be the one that would make the most sense for the character.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably not going to drag it off the boat, considering we're kind of on a limited time, and I think it would take longer than like 2 hours to properly tune and test this thing. But I don't have anything to sell. Honestly, I'm gonna take another crack at getting the auto set up while I'm admiring my handiwork.
I'm gonna walk
you're-
around here and see what's going on.
All right.
I'm gonna
See what I
run
can
my
get.
gambit with a Feast of Embers discount.
Oh,
Or Festival of Embers discount, whatever the fuck I called it.
All right. So we'll do this bit by bit. Just double checking who I put on which one.
I forget the...
Jane, Croquill, and Bilgy were up late and sailing past dusk. So currently, I'll say that Ken and Yi and Sun, you're like, this is the last awake hour. You have to be up super early in the morning.
yeah. Whew. Well, in that case, I start tinkering with some of the wires, and it's sort of the last thing. I put a nice big tarp over it so that no one sees our gun until it's ready to kill him. You know.
Ken and Yi gives you a plus 17.
Ooh. Yoo-hoo.
So after the last little bit of tuning and sparking and making sure everything's aligned inside the head, you throw a tarp over to make sure there isn't too much dust in here. Kennedy goes first. You close, lock, latch, lock, shut, lock the door, and you're there next to the bunks, just here in the belly of the ship. You can hear, like, just out on the docks, there's all kinds of people wandering and chattering and laughing, but it is the dead of fucking night.
Yeah, it's sleepy time.
I want to see what I can find out about the fallen tube, the fallen crusher.
All right, you start making your way towards the Smasher. You make your way up to the main street. Things are still pretty. They're not dark per se, but you know, like it's just normal winter. Not winter, but like around this latitude, it's still chilly and there's some snow. It's like a dusty winter. Regular lanterns, and as you get closer to the tavern, to like the town center, before you get there, go through like a market square, and it seems to be pretty well lit. There's some vendors here and there, kind of chattering, speaking to each other. You're able to get further towards. You can see that there's a few taverns kind of out and closer to where the Smasher is rather. You weasel your way through, while Croquill, presumably this is where you're setting up.
Yeah.
You don't see the lights, but you hear genuinely from like 3 blocks away all the jingling getting closer and closer. Those bells are so, like, they're all at the exact same tune and they jingle and it's constant. It's almost like a white noise. It's just pervasive.
They're jingling.
Ring ting tingling, true. True. More wine?
Yep, that's the feeling for that. All right, setting up, telling people's fortunes, see how the, I don't know, when is the new year? Do I give New Year's fortunes at this point, or just, you know?
Holiday.
So around here, the way that people tend to do it, like the Feast of Embers is a mainland tradition, and with all the years spent, like some people have picked up, they like, a bit of revelry around this season, especially since traditionally winters have been tough things for Torgs under giant rules. So it's been a season of mourning, and then the mourning with the celebration tends to kind of, rather than being contrasting and dissonant, it tends to work well for kind of like getting some of the grief out with a bit of energy. So you get a mix. It's not like you would in the mainland. You get some of that, like, oh, like New Year's wishes, all this stuff. But people don't think about the new year. It's more like now during the darkest times, people are wanting to contact their loved ones or like send last messages to the dead, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
So you're setting up your table.
Yep.
So as you're like making your way past, you listen, you hear some discussion, and you can hear like the market leader kind of like just chuckling, like, yeah, anyways, that's right, like mid conversation, just, oh, that's it, yeah, absolutely. Anyways, that's what I was saying. That's what you can hear some people shuffle around you as you're trying to locate where you need to go.
I mean, just need a spot with good foot traffic, but where I'm not obnoxiously blocking it.
You're kind of like listening around, trying to count many people, like how many people are going by, and then like nice and loud next to you, you hear like, quality knives, get your knives right here. And you're like, oh shit, I'm right in front of a stand.
Yeah, so I'm going to move away from that guy because he's too loud. He'll throw off the mystique of my vibes. And probably just kind of like, if I'm by a stand, that means I'm somewhat close, but don't want to be near him. Probably like, across the ways a little bit from him.
So you're kind of like, okay. You're trying to get a little bit distant where you can hear more people moving back and forth, but the general hum and din is a bit more distant, where people are willing to be quieter, more vulnerable. And as you're moving further and further, you overhear like, no. Look, I know you want to know the future, but Madam Quester's 80, all right? It's 8 p.m. I need to go to bed.
And at that I smile. Yeah, I think I just take over from that one. Just kind of, I hear you want to know the future. Like, just pry right into that conversation.
So you jump in, like, I hear you want to know the future. Want to roll a bit of, what skill are you using? Because this isn't just for the potential customer, this is also for the person whose booth you're taking over.
This is 100% me doing a performance. Because,
all right,
like, in order for me to get this going and get the mystique and do a smooth transition of the shop takeover, I need to convince everyone that, yeah, I see the future and shit.
And shit.
And shit.
Shit.
So that's gonna be 12.
all right, and you jump in and go, I hear Madam Quest was going to bed. Perchance. And there's a chuckle and goes, oh, some child has come. Make sure you talk to the market keeper, would you? You'll want the fee for the table and whatnot. She seems to be a little bit too tired, and she isn't really supporting your gig.
Aww.
The guy kind of like rustles from side to side and wanders off. You can hear like the anxious side to side shuffling of people who are still thinking about it. So like the spot hasn't been ruined, it's just that sale's gone.
Well, I mean, I might need to talk to the market keeper now to get a stall. Now that I know that that's a thing. But
So you kinda,
if
like-
I can drum up business while I do it, that's the question.
So you're kind of sitting there going, oh, I don't know, and then you hear wait, and someone like taps on your shoulder, a little firmer than usual.
Yes?
Will you tell me a fortune? I'll cover your cover. I work the market. I know how. Will you tell my fortune, please?
I just kind of look at him and go, sure. What would you like to know about?
And he bellows, and he goes,
Hey, I'm gonna cover this one's fee. All right?
you can hear, okay. When someone's shuffling on the other end, you kind of just shrug and sit on down. You can hear the chair groan as the guy, like, clambers in and goes,
The year's beginning, and I've been thinking a lot about, my dad left me this business, selling knives, and I really want to carry on the guy's legacy, because I love selling knives. I don't know what it is.
you actually get a little clink of spittle. This guy is like 3 decibels above where he needs to be. He goes,
I just don't know why it is. Like, some cities I do good, but other ones, I just can't get sales. I don't know what's going on. Tell me, what does a fortune bring for someone like me selling knives in the market?
What does this fortune bring? Selling knives in this market.
Is that how we find out Leland's dead?
I was gonna say, what species is this boy?
you hear, like,
I'm
levels
assuming
of
he's
bass that
Torgish.
you only get from a red Torg.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's gotta be Torgish.
Like, this guy's lung capacity is like 2 liters. Like, it's a V8. Like, it,
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of give like, Gabe, you're free to correct me on this one, but I'm going to improv that I met Leland at some point, on his route back. It's just like, I met a famous knife maker once. Totally making up the fact that he's famous. And it's just like,
Yeah.
he gave me one solid message. Use high quality materials and don't be a jackass.
oh, it's so different knowing that it's clearly like one of those lessons was not taught on purpose.
And, well, I mean, Croquill doesn't own she owns a knife, but it's a cooking knife. But and it's just like, now, the thing you have to remember when selling is that sometimes you need higher quality material in order for the sale to truly go through. And sometimes people are just looking for a knife. And when you can fix that, when you can find that, that's the key to making proper sales.
You can find a balance between the two.
Yeah.
Good knife, shitty knife.
So I'm presuming that like any good fortune teller, you're like keeping things a lot quieter.
Yes.
Leaning closer, drawing in with the
Yes.
mystique. So there's a bit of a jump as this guy goes,
You're right! Maybe I've been putting way too much into everything. And I should have a few focused products instead of, and a bunch of more common stuff. Yeah, it's a good idea. I appreciate it.
he slaps the table and you can hear him get up and walk off.
At that I just go, okay, happy I could help.
So I'm gonna leave you there a little while. Jane, you make your way past. You do overhear this. At least like the first half of it before you move past, and you can see that there's a tavern near the Smasher. There's a few people actually. There's like some wreaths and like candles set up around here, and there's a few people holding signs standing around.
What do the signs say?
Do you read Tordish?
No.
Okay, so most of them you can't read. There's a few of them though that are written in Trader tongue. So like maybe 30 to 70. Some of them you look at them and it's things like lives not coin. Like blood is worth more than gold in another one.
I see.
That being said, you can see that like there's the wreckage right in front of you that you could start looking over. It's not like it's not necessarily cordoned off or anything. It's very obvious where debris begins, and a person probably shouldn't be wandering around. They haven't felt the need to put up a fence or anything.
Yeah. Well, I want to see like the extent of the damage. Did it like go over a whole bunch of like? Did it destroy houses? Is there anybody that could ask? See like if there were people killed in the accident, what caused it, that sort of thing.
Could you imagine there's an industrial accident in your town and then some tourist comes in and starts going, so did people die?
So did people like die? How many? Like, are there any pictures?
I mean, it definitely happens.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, I imagine that's got to be the way things are in any actual catastrophe when like it's like 7 a.m. and you're like, you're shaky, you're looking outside the mirror, you're drinking your coffee, and you go, all right, I could do this. It's just another day, just gotta get through today. And you walk outside, things are quiet, you haven't put on YouTube or like a podcast or anything just because it's not today. Things are calm and peaceful, serene, but in a grim sort of sense. You open the door and someone goes, "Hi, Los Angeles Times. I was wondering if you'd be willing to ask a few questions." It's probably the like tone that comes across, right? It's like, please no. Can I have a minute?
I would like to be
just
this new brand of inverse reporter that goes around, "Hi, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me?"
Isn't that just Reddit AMAs?
I'm a journalist AMA.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like go up to people who are like just on the street, but I'm hoping like if I go to like a tavern or
There's the Smasher itself was set up basically in the middle of a big town square, so you can go off to the side where there's one of the taverns. From near the door of the tavern, when you look around, you can see the Smasher, you can see the side that it's fallen towards what used to be one street, and then it kind of goes diagonal. You can see it intersect just barely another cross street. On the other side, things are otherwise undamaged. You head into the tavern, there's people bustling, talking. You can see that there's, interestingly, there's one table that's like set aside that's almost being used, like set up more like a booth. There's a cloth over it, and you can see like there's pamphlets, there's like leaflets being passed around. There's a couple of people standing in front of it talking to each other.
I take one of the pamphlets. Hopefully it's in Trader tongue.
Roll odds or evens.
I'm gonna go evens.
Oh god, it's gonna be like a Canadian leaflet.
Did you get it or no?
Yep.
You cut out both times on my end.
No, I did not get it.
All right, so you're picking it up. You can see that there's these big boxy letters. You're like, oh shit, and then you hear, "Oh, you'll be looking for." Sorry, I hate to make the assumption. Trader tongue.
Yes, please.
The guy passes you one with the other hand. He grabs the other as you swap out, puts it back in the thing.
Perfect, thanks. I'm gonna read it. What does it say?
on the front, like it's very much like old, like Union leaflet style, like mixed fonts in different sizes and arrangements. And it's like, accountability now, forever, exclamation point. And then there's a big block of text. You squint into it and it's like, you start to synthesize it, but it's like a solid 3 centimeters of dense small text describing how the smasher collapsed in spite of the fact that multiple safety reports were filed because of the fact that the owner was not available for comment. There have been multiple letters petitioned at his mansion in the city, but none of them have been answered. And then there's like a big old drawing of like, you actually recognize it. You've passed it on the street at least once before. Like the front of a mansion with a big pile of letters in front of it. You flop this thing open. One of them is like, it's all like pictures and sketch renditions of like wounded people. One person's lost a few fingers, another person's lost an arm. And then you can see one of them is just like a wreath. And underneath is like, rest in peace, Terrence Smith. The other end is just big blocks of text. You look into it and after a while you glaze over. You're not a citizen here, so you can't vote. So not the rest of it isn't much use to you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the pamphlet and bring it with me to show other people.
You're gonna show it to Son, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen when I walked past the Smasher the first time." Like,
I don't know why, but this whole situation, I just am reminded of that time I went to Walmart and there was a man with only one leg, and I watched in horror as a kid, ran up to him and pointed, and said, "Were you in a war?" And it was just like, whew.
Was the kid at least young enough that it's just like, yeah, okay.
This was like 13-year-old kid.
Oh.
You say this, but like genuinely, when I walk around with a cane, there's perfectly normal, like adults, grown-ass people who will be like, "Oh, what happened to your leg?" And it's just like, I'm ordering a coffee. Can we not? I don't want to have to be like, okay, so I have an undiagnosed chronic pain disorder, and like I have a long history of back problems, and I have some difficulty walking, and so like it's really more like if I get exhausted, I'm gonna need to support my gait if I'm a walking person.
You should just say.
Anyways, can I have a large?
You should just
Order up
say,
for Bill. Order for Bill.
Just be like, I was stabbed in the ass.
You have to make it way more epic than it is.
I have to think of some sort of nonsense injury so that I can be like, oh yeah, I was fighting a bear, or some sort of something like that.
I think that cum accident is pretty good.
I came so hard that I broke my leg.
I came really hard, and the thing is, the doctor said I probably would have been fractured anyways if I was on a harder surface, but I was in bed, so like spring managed to compensate it, but I came through the ceiling, and the reason I got injured is because of falling drywall, so that's why I'm walking with a cane.
Could you just say leg accident?
I got into a leg
It's
accident.
really powerful, it's just leg accident.
What happened to your arm? Arm accident.
Well, the thing is, like, anytime that someone asks that, like, what happened to your leg, like, I live like this every day, so, like, for the most part, my mindset is, like, hey, I'm walking here, right? So someone will be like, hey, what happened to your leg? And, like, 8 out of 10 times I'll look down being like, did I spill something?
Yeah, it's like, what happened to my leg?
Yeah. Oh, I see that you have a cane. Can I e-transfer you $20? Oops, finger slip.
That like.
I
Oh
wish.
man, that's an inside joke.
Yep.
Inside joke to the beginning of this stream.
Yeah, it's up before we went live.
I think it was before. Yeah, it was
Yeah, I forgot
before we
that
went
before we
live.
went live. If someone offers to e-transfer you money on the street, don't let them do it because they're probably scammy Jenksons.
Yep.
The man that has my crisp $20 bill.
That bugger.
Yeah, well, his mom died of cancer, so
His mom did die of cancer.
like just the other day.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You know, sometimes there's someone who will corner me, like on the street, who will have
Yeah.
like the elaborate story, and you almost want to be like, you know what, man? Yeah, I got a couple extra bucks just because, like, you didn't get me, but I honor the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a point where you have to sit there and be like, you know what? I respect a good work. I respect a good piece of work. I respect some well-wrought efforts.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I don't really think your mom died of cancer yesterday,
Yeah.
but
I don't think that happened. And like,
Like-
I am going to the bank to ask the teller if this is real or not, and I want to see if you're going to admit to it. But
It's the same attitude as like if you found out that your house had been broken into and then you look and like on the 4th story window or something in an apartment building with like obviously like diamond cutters, there's a perfect circle and like you can see that there's a repelling line. You'd sit there being like, damn, respect. Like you put in the work for like severely undervalued old electronics. Like,
Yeah.
See, we live in a society. We live in an apartment, and we have a balcony. And Chelsea likes to lock the balcony door before we go to bed, and I don't because if someone climbs up 10 stories, like
Right?
they're. I don't think. Well, it's not that I welcome them in; it's that a lock won't stop them. Like,
yeah.
They're
And I
committed
find
at that point.
I find that so funny because it's like, I know your apartment, and like we live in the same complex. Like
Yeah.
you're locking your apartment, like the balcony window, like door is basically kind of like that's more of a peace of mind thing. Like
yeah.
I won't denounce it, but it's like if you're doing that, like that's a very valid thing to do for the sake of feeling more comfortable in your own home and nothing else. Whereas like I'm sitting here and I don't lock my balcony door, but now that you brought it up, it's like I'm not that many balconies up. It
You
would
could
still be
ladder
impressive,
it.
but like
You could ladder up to you.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so now that the
you
session
could
is
fucking try and be
now that the session is fully derailed, when my grandpa was living in residence and he lived up real high, and one of his buddies fucking locked the door from the inside and wouldn't let him in. And like when we say lock, we mean like he had like duct taped the handle to another handle, like with like just so many layers he couldn't open it. So what he did is he got his buddy to open the window for the unit above, and then he rappelled down with some good rope. But in order to unlock the window, he had to cut open the mesh. And the dean was very unhappy that he cut open the mesh. And he's like, it's going to be this many thousands of dollars to hire someone to come in. My grandpa said, fuck that. So we went and he got just like a ladder from the farm and came back, went to the hardware store, bought a new mesh, and then just installed it himself, and then called the dean like, hey, I fixed it. And the dean didn't believe him, so he like spent an absurdly long amount of time with a flashlight, like how the hell do you glue this shit back together? Because he couldn't comprehend the idea of like a common simple man owning a ladder.
That
yeah.
is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, you had me at rappelled down from the story above.
Well, yeah, like it was like Will's apartment, right, where it's high up, but it's not like out of ladder's reach.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm still picturing, like, Mission Impossible, like, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, like where my apartment is, it's the kind of thing where if your actual dad told you this story, you'd believe it. You'd be like, "Wow, Dad, that's really impressive," and would not even in like an adult big fish mindset be like, "Nah, I'd buy it."
Yeah, well, it is my grandpa, so like that's another generation up. I don't think my dad would do that. If my dad told me that story, I'd be terrified. I don't know why.
Anyhow, so Jane, you make your way out of the tavern. You've got a pamphlet.
I got a
You need-
pamphlet.
Are you inspecting anything else before you head back to the ship?
I want to go check out that house with all the letters in front of it.
All right. You make your way up the road a little ways. I'm going to jump to Crowquill. You feel Warbles kind of like flit off, and instinctively you kind of just snap a little ritual as usual, going like, "Oh, what is it, boy?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know that Jane is kind of wandering off elsewhere in the city. Want to give me a whatever roll is appropriate for your magic? Not for warbles, for the performance. For
the performance,
Makeups
it's
and cash.
100% ritual. What I'm doing is, since people want like sort of an assurance from the dead kind of thing, I've crafted a thing such that when a person wants this thing to glow, it glows, and I tell them that when this glows, this person, you know, whoever passed on or whatever, is thinking about you.
All right.
So just whenever someone wants it to glow, it glows. That would be a 27.
All right. So this is something that you don't get to do often, but you find it quite convenient. Around here, there's lots of little, like, people bring you little stones and you get this ready. Really what you're doing is basically like the stronger the emotional magical twinge is to its host, the brighter this glows. So really you're just waiting until someone goes, "Oh, I really need this to glow," and that's when it's gonna really flare.
Yep. Yep.
So you're basically taking rocks from the ground, you're enchanting them, you're sliding them, slipping them from place to place, and you make 2 gold and 7 silver.
Woo!
Right as this happens, you get a mumble from the market keeper that your hour's up, and man, you never want to stick around too long. You do that, people start trying to figure out how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So, are you going to head back to the ship, or are you going to follow Jane? Well, really follow Warbles.
I'm gonna follow Warbles to meet up with Jane.
All right. You slip through the market, make your way back to Jane. The pair of you guys, you make your way in, like, past the, like, dock side of town towards sort of the inside, like the mountain side of town, where you can see, like, some of the taller buildings are built into the mountain itself. You get there, this is the nicer part of town. In one of the mansions, sure enough, you see someone's actually, like, set aside a bunch of the signs. There aren't people here because it's getting a little bit later and they've stopped protesting for the day, but there's a pile of, like, letters here. It's a really nice looking mansion now.
Could you hex the guy in there? Maybe make him stub his toe or something?
I mean, you need to see the guy in order to hex him, or at least be in the general vicinity.
Do you think if we, like, how close do you need to be? If we, like, walked up to the house, do you think
You can magically basically go snap and make a bad thing happen to someone in the house.
Yeah, but that could be anyone.
Can we tell how many people are in the house? Is there any way to do that?
Same roll, but a different method. You'd be using ritual magic to try and sense life, basically.
I'll do it. If there's no one in the, if there's like one dude in the house, I'll be like, all right, cool.
Make him stub his toe.
Oh, that was a weird roll. That would be a 22.
Ooh.
I rolled 2 5s and 2 1s.
Really hitting both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Good
The
average.
house is actually clear. There's no, like, beasts or animals guarding this place. There's no one wandering or protecting the space. As far as you know, this house is actually empty.
Like, that just means that there's no signs of life at all, right?
Mm-hmm. You sense
Dude
that
could be
no
dead inside.
beings, to phrase it very specifically, you sense that no beings are in this place.
Yeah. I don't sense anything, so I'm just gonna assume that whoever's inside is dead. Either that or he flew the coop ages ago.
Could I, like... Now I'm curious. You can convince me out of this, Crowquill, but I kind of want to sneak around the house, look into the windows a bit. See if there's a dude laying dead somewhere.
I mean, I'm down.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I like not break in or anything. Just kind of sneak around, look into windows.
All right, so Croakwill is both the best and worst buddy for this, because basically if you say don't move, keep your head down, just stay where you are, you can actually trust Croakwill to do so. At the same time, Croakwill isn't necessarily best at keeping watch. So Croakwill, what are you doing to help out right now? Because you're not necessarily like useless or like unable to help out right now. It's more so like your skill set is different chunk of things.
Primarily, I'm booning Jane, and then I'm telling Warbles to sort of keep an eye out, but I'm also casting a ritual to sort of make us seem less noticed.
Okay, so in any other campaign, I would say, okay, you're doing like 6 different things. That's not valid. But genuinely, because of who you are, this would be the thing that Croakwill does when you kind of go, okay, go.
Yeah, basically. Like, I would boon Jane before. Like, there's the priorities. I would send Warbles to just kind of like get a perch and look out, and then I would just be like, all right, Jane, good luck. And then I would be like, okay, here's another thing that I am doing now. Here's my primary focus of what I am doing.
All right, so you get a little bit of direction from Jane, so you can just sit somewhere inconspicuous. There's a bench. You plop down. Warbles is going to let you know if any colors are going, because that's the real problem. But really, you're just making sure there's no witnesses, period. So you're just feeling the magical, like, thief crime pressure. The testier things get, the more you feel like it's going to pop. And then when it pops, you're going to have just enough leeway to say, run.
Yeah.
So currently, you're just
It's the
sitting there
build up
waiting.
in a
You're
video
keeping...
game. It's the little bar.
I don't know why I'm talking like this about this like I'm some kind of mobster, like I'm going to incriminate myself. Me and my buddies growing up used to do some shady shit, not anything actually bad, just like we'd run through people's backyards,
Sure,
that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like very much, it's what it feels like. It's like there's a point where you go, okay, we can't keep doing this shit. You got to go back inside. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Jane, Croco's keeping watch. You creep your way past the front gate. Just quietly push past. It's just a little creaky, but it's been oiled at some point, not recently, just like it's not super worn down or anything. So you're getting inside, get a little bit closer. There's like the front door, which actually has 2 little glass openings in it, and then there's like shrubbery in front of 2 big windows.
I go for the windows, not the door.
All right. You make your way past a shrub. There's a bit of a surge of pressure. There's a caw from Warbles. You quickly, like, shuffle down into the bushes. You can see a dog walker go by. You warily make your way back out. You peek your way through the window, and no one in there. No signs of scuffle. On a scale of 1 to 10, how greedy are you feeling? I shouldn't say greedy. Opportunistic might be the better word.
Like a 7.5. Like 10 being real fucking greedy.
This is nice furniture. And like they haven't set any of the stuff out. Like there isn't a table set, so they might not notice right away. If you went in and took some of the silverware, you can see that there's a candelabra or 2 that are set up that seem to be at least silver. It's then that you realize you're like that far deep and you go, oh, and it doesn't look like there's anyone dead in here and everything like that.
What about near, like, if I go around the back of the house? I guess it's built into the rock, isn't it? Is there a back of the house?
It is correct to say that it is built into the rock. It is also correct to say you can go to the back of the house.
Okay.
In fact, it's actually a really sneaky way to get in. You get past that bit of shrubbery, and here they're pretty close together. It's where kind of things crop around. So you're actually where there's not a lot of windows pointing in, there's no lights or anything. It's just kind of uneven stone and bushes and that kind of stuff. Make your way past. And here you can see that there's like a bit of a ridge where the actual road up above is, but there's a little uneven bit of stone, and you can clamber up. You hop over in, and you're in a small backyard.
Are there any windows back here into the backyard?
Yep. It's not a mirror of the front, but like in terms of aesthetics, but structurally it is. Central like door with something you can see through, and then window on either side. Here it's very much like the cozier backyard. It's not a front facade. It's like the back of the house.
Okay, well, I go to the window, look through the window, go to the door, look through the door.
You look through the window, and the light's not quite right. Door's worse. You get to the other window, you peer through. Here the moonlight is just kind of hitting, and you can see the opening of a window on the other side through like an archway. It's then that you see the glint of little copper gilding on the edge of the archways. It's one of those little notes that someone who isn't in the business might not note, but that's money. That is fucking money. You look over, and sure enough, they've got glass in their cabinets, which for this technological period is big fruit. They got like, looks like some fine china. Oh yeah, it's fruitful.
But does Jane go for it?
I'm like, I would, but I'm really suspicious. If there was a person here, I might do it. But the fact that there isn't anybody here makes me super suspicious of it. Like,
I don't think it's that suspicious that he left town if there's an angry mob.
oh, but
for
there's
it.
definitely wards. There's wards, there's like, there's gonna be those like blow up things. Almost definitely. Like a dude this rich isn't gonna leave his house totally unprotected. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
have no
that's
idea
a
how
fair...
Jane would check or know or anything like in any way be able to tackle those kinds of specific defenses a house might have. So surely there's no way you can progress further.
That's true. I'm gonna go back to Crowquill. I'm gonna talk to Crowquill. Okay,
All right,
I
you
go
give the
back.
quick rundown.
Yeah. What do you think? Could you do like a detecting ritual, detect if there's any wards on this house?
Seems like a distance thing, but Will, what do you feel?
Go for it.
All right.
Actually, Jane, from your assessment, if nobody's walking up and down the street, you might be able to just make a break for that back corner, and then you wouldn't need a lookout necessarily. You just need to keep your ears open in case anybody comes by.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, you shuffle past, you help Crowquill over the little like ridge in the wall, and then you get back to the back door. Want to give me a ritual roll?
Okie dokie. Oh no.
Is that bad?
So you know how I rolled 2 1s and 2 5s before?
Uh-oh.
I rolled 3 1s and 1 5.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's an 8. I'm good at math.
Deep cut.
Alright. So that's an 18.
That's still pretty good.
Plus 10 is saving my ass.
So, sure enough, you feel around, you go, no, everything's... You're feeling around for magic, and nothing's active. You can feel stale magic, but it's like nobody's come back to fix this ritual in a while now.
Place has been abandoned for a while.
So suspicious. Maybe there's like a trap, like a physical trap on the doors.
I wouldn't...
There's no way they would just
I'll be
leave
back in a
the
bit.
house. Right?
Yeah, like... Okay. Options... They flew the fucking coop. And, like, this
Yeah.
guy was so rich from scamming everyone with the thing that he just left and like didn't even care about the expensive shit. Or you're right, there are physical traps in here.
Or Crowquill didn't roll high enough to detect some sort of life in there.
Or I didn't roll high enough because I only rolled an 18.
Well, to detect life, you rolled a 22.
Yes. There's definitely not someone in there. Gabe's gone again.
Yeah, so there's nobody in there. But he was very specific, no being.
Yeah.
I think it just meant like there might be a fly or like it's not like the house is devoid of life. Like
Yeah.
You know,
Like there could be plants in there, like things like that.
That wouldn't pick up like a spirit, right?
Yeah.
There might be like an evil demon spirit in there
Ooh.
that you're not picking up with the magic or the ritual or the...
Yeah.
You only have one Omen Watcher, eh?
Only got the one. Only got the one. You're still booned though, you haven't used it yet.
I don't think it's that deep.
That seemed like the right time to let you stew on that a little. How we doing?
Should I risk it? What do you think, Crowquill?
Well, we're about to leave town anyway.
Tell me my future. Feed me some bullshit.
I'm going to look at her and just kind of go, and may your feet be ever light on the ground, barely even touching, and then just throw a feather in her face.
I'd like to imagine it's not even magic, that's just you giggling at the fact that you might think it's magic.
Like, I could have just ritual blessed you. You don't know.
I'm gonna try the door.
Either way, you're still booned.
Alright, so want to give me a delicate roll?
Nice. $16.
So you grab it and like, okay, this isn't a utopia, of course it's locked, but then as you're jiggling it a little, the way you're grabbing it, you go, wait a minute. Just out of curiosity, if you had to pick one that would be kind of characteristic, brawn, grace, or delicate, you aren't going to have to roll it, just for flavor.
Holy Grace.
So you jimmy it, you stop, you jimmy it, you stop, and then you put your hand over like close to the top of the doorway near where the glass pane is, you jimmy it, you lift, you push, you drop, and even though the door's still locked, you just push it open.
Shitty door. Okay. I take a hesitant step into the house.
Creak.
I walk casually towards the silverware.
Just creep.
Step.
Okay.
Step. Okay, and we're just gonna grab. Oh yeah, they seem to weigh the right amount. Some plates, a few cups. Can't take too much of this. You're gonna need some kind of something to carry the stuff in.
Is there a bag lying around that I can take?
Well, currently you're in the dining room. You could go back towards the kitchen, see if there's anything there.
Okay, I go towards the kitchen.
Ooh, classic mistake.
I know, that's what I'm thinking too, but...
The cook is dead with a knife in the back. This is now Clue.
You quietly creak the door open. Gently push it open. There's a moment of anxiety as you see there's a cutting board with a cleaver embedded right into it, horror movie style. But No, apparently somebody just likes storing their knives that way.
No
You
dead
make your way
man
in.
attached to it.
You can see that there's a pile of old sacks. Sure enough, you've got 2 sacks you could use for carrying stuff. You look over, and sure enough, you see there's a spice rack. You think your way through to figure out if this is the kind of thing that's not worth your time, but then sure enough, oh, that's rare. Oh, that's rare. That's rare. You start filling your sack, you go back, you get the rest of the cutlery. Croakwill, you feel the pressure rising slightly, and it's staying steady at like a mid-range.
It's... Warbles, do you see anyone around?
I'm not gonna be too greedy here. I'm gonna take some stuff and I'm gonna get out. Like,
Yeah, I'm basically at the Jane hurry up phase.
Yeah. If you say that, like, I'm getting out of there. Like, grab those spices, grab some plates.
Still nothing from Warbles. Warbles is still good.
Something's not right.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of there.
The Something
Alright.
Is Not Right song from Madeline starts playing.
Yeah. Alright, so you're grabbing things, you're getting ready to leave, and then sure enough, you stop, and... Oh, there's something just irresistible. It's not like on a hook next to the door per se. Like on the actual hook next to the door, there's a bunch of like bolts that you could easily, like you don't want to take them. If anything, that would look bad. But on a rack next to the door is like a monarchic level, like finely wrought hunting crossbow. This thing's got like little damask embossings and like gold inlay and like a whole bunch of stuff like graven into the side.
I'm gonna grab it. There's no way that I wouldn't.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, let's go.
All right, want to give me a grace roll?
Yeah.
Are you still booned, or did you use that on the door?
I didn't use it. I'll use it now. Okay. What's the boon? Oh, that's just
Everything is 6s.
Okay, so that's 3 dice. So 18 plus 4 is 22.
All right, you grab it. You move the handle just so. You lift, shift, and drop, and it's like you were never even here.
Nice.
You shuffle over the edge. You stop. You see 2 people kind of half drunkenly, like cuddle walking. They cackle. You can hear them speaking loudly enough that you know how far away they are. They turn a corner. You can hear the buildings muffle them. And you go. You're away from the rich street. You're in like kind of an awkward street where you want to make sure no one's there. You're walking, and then right in where you're in the main street, no one's going to look at someone who's got a sack over their shoulder, and you walk.
Nice.
Sure enough, that's the 2-hour mark. You just walk back onto the ship like you were just going out to the market making some money. You raise the gangplank. The rookers are ready to go, and bell goes.
Nice.
You unfurl, and you get the sails going.
I give Warble
Where's your
some
leg?
extra good treats for that.
Oh yeah. What a good boy. Is Warbles a boy or a girl?
Boy,
Okay. He's a good boy.
he's a good
I'm
boy.
showing everybody the stuff I got. And I'm like,
So-
I'm making justification. Like, this guy, he killed people. Like,
Who the fuck did we just rob? Like, I'm hoping we just secretly robbed a life drinker or some shit, but like, it could have been some dude who had a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Nice.
It really could have just been anyone, eh?
We're really just opportunistic assholes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
If your definition of opportunistic is house exists. Like,
Well, Well, the reason I went to check out the house was because, like, this guy's a piece of shit. He's been, like, you know, fucking over the people of this town, you know, doing all kinds of shady shit.
Honestly, you guys are way more straight-laced than I thought. I actually gave you this house as a bump-off location, like, a few episodes ago, and you didn't take it because you weren't looking for crimes to commit.
True. We're not... Okay. We're not pirates.
Listen, I'm a skilled laborer at this point. I've been okay. What's the what's the fucking like what's hourly wage for an adventure? Eh? Like 3 silvers a day, 8-hour shift.
Like, I'm a swindler. That's my gambit. That's my crimes. I'm a swindler. I'm not about to bust down a dude's, like, house and be like, give me all your stuff.
Okay, so currently, this is probably the heist movie moment as you guys are sailing off and going, look at this, to introduce the crew. So we got Jane, who's the smuggler. We have Sun, who's the munitions and explosives expert.
Yeah.
And we have Croakwill, who's the swindler and basically the magic expert. In
the guy in the
addition
chair.
to that, you got Bilgy, the old-timey trad pirate. You got Tiana, who we were joking about. I'm not just going to go in there and go, hey, give me your money. That's because you have Tiana in your crew. You don't have to do that. Tiana will slam someone into a pile of crates if you need to. That's no problem. You got Kenan Yi, who is basically the dude who gives you the big ultra weapon to break into the bank vault. And then you've got Rooker, who just... You know, everyone needs a friend.
Yeah, Rooker's the guy in the van, just ready to help set sail and get the fuck out if we need to.
He's just a good fucking guy hanging out.
Like in a heist movie, he would be, you know, Rooker.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't need to commit crimes because once I finish this goddamn turret, I'm actually making money. Like, 8-hour day, I make a gold.
You don't have to commit crimes.
In 2 hours, I made 2 gold and 7 silver. Like, I don't need...
Yeah.
Didn't you make 2 silver, 7 copper?
Okay, I may have got that wrong.
Okay, yeah, that's... It's the scale of take that's slightly off is the thing.
Okay, I need to reduce that by 1 and
honestly,
bring
the
that
only
up.
reason...
Actually, to get things kicking a little heavier here. You were saying, Gabe?
Oh, just the only goddamn reason me and Canon Day are on this boat is to find an excuse to test things, like to shoot things for testing purposes.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, you have the world's best testing range. The ocean.
yeah.
Okay, so how much, in terms of like shit that I've stolen? So the crossbow. What kind of crossbow is this?
You know how I just did the whole heist intro thing? You don't have an appraiser.
Nice.
So you have a sack of shit right now that you need to offload.
I mean,
can I
you
roll
do
to
have a person who's an expert in metal and metallurgy.
Okay, let's zero in here. Let's pull up the map. You've just left port with this ship. The late night crew is Jane, Croakwill, and Bilgy. So currently, Sun, Tiana, and Kenan Yi are in bed. Rooker has just gone to bed, just long enough to like grab all the spices and then give like, you know those hugs someone gives where like you go, oh, okay, you were way more invested in this than I thought.
Yeah.
And he lets go and he takes the spices, puts it into the kitchen, and then heads to bed.
Nice.
Good spices.
Those are good spices. I might even keep the crossbow for myself. Like get it appraised and then keep it. Give the spices to Rooker and then just I don't know.
If you want to make money, sell your old one.
For now, make sure to write down that specifically it's not just like a fancy crossbow, it's a Ponzi crossbow. like this is, you know, like the Gucci bags that just say Gucci, 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 Gucci all over them, and you go like, that's genuinely not a good looking bag. That's literally just for brand name. Like it's that kind of crossbow.
Okay.
Is this the equivalent of like that double-barreled pump-action shotgun that everyone wants but no one should ever use? Like,
So you guys are currently in the city of Newtown. You've headed off to port. You have basically like another hour or so of sailing until you guys have like a little bit of rest hour, and then you head back onto the seas.
okay,
Let's check out. No, you're in bed.
I'm in bed. I am saying I'm in bed for the next 4 hours, then I'm up and working.
You're banking the rolls to get go.
Yeah.
All right. So the wind shifts conveniently to be heading dead east. You guys are going southeast.
Yep, okay.
Now let's see. I need one more in there.
I say we take the nice wind while we got it and go with our lead.
So are you going east or southeast?
Do we have to head southeast, or can we head east for like a good portion of it?
You can go east for a good portion. So you guys unfurl your sails nice and hard. You end up making it almost 4 squares easterly. You miss a few of the storms in the thick, and then after a while, it's right around where you're getting tired and the storms start to head in, and you have to, just for safety, make sure to unfurl your sails and might as well just anchor and settle in. It's real fucking late at night when you guys anchor down and stop.
Okay. Doggos.
Doggos.
All right, so we're anchored.
We're anchoring.
Doing all
Where
that.
are we headed next? Where's our next location?
Your next location is White Abbey.
Why not?
Ah, so it's pretty much just, yeah, southeast.
Cool. Heading that way.
All right, so everyone else is headed to bed. You have just a few hours of kind of just waiting out in open ocean. Uncomfortably, like everybody who was in bed, you hear everyone going to bed about midway through your rest, and then you fall asleep again. And then everyone who's just gone to bed, midway through your rest, well, it's still the middle of the fucking night, a bunch of people wake up. So, Sun, Kennedy, and Tiana, you guys all wake up real bright and early before dawn.
Well, should we get this this tub moving?
Yeah, seems like it. You hear Tiana start to like clamber up the ladder.
Ooh. Well, did I suppose you don't know, eh? Did we miss anything while we were sleeping?
Kennedy just gives you a shrug.
Oop. All right then, let's get the anchor up and get a move on.
All right. Want to head back to the map? It's currently the witching hour before dawn.
There we go.
Where would you be storing this crossbow?
I
Well,
will say, everybody who has a bunk, which is all of you, you have at least one big cabinet that you could probably fit something as big as a crossbow into without anybody noticing.
I do I already have a crossbow, so I'd probably put my crossbow in there. What is very in character for Jane is to get all the silverware, put it on the table, like the main table, and just leave it.
For people
We're
to use
eating
as their
fancy
stick?
tonight.
Yeah, to either for people to use or for people to look at. Should probably just put it there.
All right, so son, you get up, you do the big stretch. You go, oh, hold on. You steady yourself. You sit back down. You go, okay. You don't even look. You shut the blinds again. There's shuffling as you get out of your pajamas, into your clothes. Get out of the thing. Lean up. Get a little bit of fire magic. Just light a little candle. And you look out and you see that there's nobility tier silverware on the dining table.
Huh. Oh, Rooker must have upgraded. And that's I move on with my day.
Just gonna go. Good hustle. Get up the ladder.
Yeah. It doesn't even occur to me that it could be stolen. Like, straight up, my initial reaction is, they seem nicer than they used to.
Must have bought some new
Bought
silverware.
new silverware.
All right, so you're not used to it, so you fumble through the loops and making sure you're using the right knots. You get the sails up, get them taut, ready, and you catch the wind. The wind is blowing a sharp northwesterly. You guys are going southeast from here.
We have
Where
one
you
good
heading?
wind.
So you could struggle southwest against the wind, or you could go south or east.
I think we should go south, purely because I don't want to go too close to shore.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Yeah, south. Plus, we can't really see the map from here, so going south would let us see the map.
Practical?
Yeah, south it is.
All right. You tack, you manage to catch the edge of the wind, and you start heading southwards. You actually have to ease up a little bit because your sails are better suited to this than your host ship is. From here, now that you've left Newtown, you're supposed to rendezvous with the Spike Shell and the Bone Marrow, two of the previous ships that had gone out towards like Old Town area.
Do we
So-
know when we're meeting them, or are we just meeting out in the ocean?
You're meant to be meeting before you hit the Hookway, which is the next big highway, basically. Heading south, you move about 2 squares.
Okay. And I'm assuming the Hookway is so named because it's the hook around that little peninsula, eh?
Not the one on the map, but on the world map, yeah.
I have no idea where we're
Okay, yeah.
So it's basically on the world map, we're here,
Yep.
and the
Okay.
hook around would be there, right?
I see.
The other way, a bigger, deeper hook
Oh, it's
around
like
the mainland.
okay, it's that hook.
That's the that's the
I
hook
see.
way.
I see. Okay. So, is sort of the start of the Hookway? Would that be visible on this map? Or...
That is such a good question. Oh my god. Basically, the span of ocean that your map currently contains is the funnel where a bunch of ships start to comprise the Hookway, and then once you leave this map square is where there would be a distinctive Hookway.
So this is the perfect spot to meet up with everyone else that's also coming from the Freedlands to.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm thinking we get right by. And I can't actually point on the screen, but there's like a little white triangle there. That looks like a great place to stop and meet up.
There's a small island in the middle of the ocean there.
Yeah.
That being said, between that bigger
talking
island
about, like, this
and the between that bigger island and the square, which would be Jumptown, there is a ruin that we've been to before.
A ruin.
It's the spire.
Is that where the spire was? Well, let's stay the hell away from that then.
All right.
Yeah, last thing we need to do is curse the entire fucking journey with that thing.
Yeah, let's. Ooh.
So the wind is unyielding. It's still heading that sharp northwesterly. Are you going to head south or east? You can just
south.
barely see the haze before the sun starts to break the horizon. It's dawn.
Yeah, I'm heading south.
All right.
I'm gonna say we go near the spire and the fucking guys in the tunnel are just like standing up there shaking their fists going, "We know you have a tablet! Give us the tablet!"
Give it to us!
So you move 2 squares to the south, on the conservative side of 2 squares.
We also have that little figurine, don't we?
We do, and some pamphlets.
And some pamphlets.
Imagine you've got general table clutter by now. You've got the like labor pamphlet. You've got the pamphlet for the motel. You've got like the tablet. So you're scanning out there. It's getting to dawn through to the early morning. You haven't seen them quite yet. Do you know what ships you're looking for?
Looking for the marrow. Bone marrow.
Bone marrow.
So what would it look like?
Oh, you know, it's got the hull and sails. Probably a flag of some sort.
With the flag, with the creature on it.
Yeah, something
Probably
like
got
that.
a deck and
Let's see, was it
steering
the
wheel.
was it the one with the stego on it, or was it the one with the falcon? I can't remember.
Probably made of some sort of wood.
All I remember is it's got the 45-pound guns on there.
Shows up, it's a dwarven ship made entirely of metal, no flags whatsoever to
Yeah.
discern it.
Ugh.
Oh, but like he knows the guns it's using.
Yeah.
So, like to the specific.
Yeah, it's got.
So you're waiting, you're going, oh shit, which one was it? Which one was it? You're watching a ship pass, you're going, not that. Not that. And you're watching, and you think you see a bigger ship, and then you go, ah shit, you think you see a national ship, you're about to get ready for things, and then you see one of the ships, something makes a big, long, 300-meter arc, and just tanks like a 3-master national ship.
Ooh.
And the thing that it threw was about 90 kilograms, wasn't it?
Yeah, about that much.
Ooh, that's some firepower.
That is an accurate trebuchet.
Oof.
Okay,
So you're
let's go
looking
meet up.
over. You're starting to make your way towards that direction. In the pre-dawn, it's convenient because the area around the ship and the water itself is lit. This seems to be kind of like a Greek fire kind of deal. As you get closer, you see the pair of ships. They spot you, and you close in ranks. One of them is functionally identical to yours, aside from the actual name and number on the side, as opposed to yours, which is the armadillo. This one's the spike shell. That being said, the Bone Marrow is like the lateen rigged pontoon ship with the turbucket on it.
Ooh.
The
I'm-
turbucket.
Yeah, I'm giving him a big friendly wave. How are they? Are they within shouting distance? Or are they like pretty
Just
far?
just barely. Like they're not, but some would.
That's what I was at. Yeah, I'm hollering. Nice shot.
You hear like, and then there's like two of them that visibly clang tankards together, and it's like, okay.
You know the energy on board that ship.
So, okay.
Good
So,
old boys.
who on our team has like the best social bartering skill?
Oh, bartering? I don't have any points in bartering.
That might be Kananye.
Like, I got social, but I'll be rolling a 1 dot with a +4. Like,
Honestly, it's one of those weird comparisons to the last campaign where, like, last campaign, every single one of the NPCs was, like, an uncharismatic but really, really specific type of fighter. And this time, all of you guys are the specialists, and so, like, all of the NPCs are able to be charismatic in a pinch.
Yeah.
So, like, really, any of them can be like,
Like-
hi, I can be a normal person for this interaction.
I have social
Hi.
skills. I have, like,
I'll be a
everything
normal
but barter.
I have no social skills.
I don't waste
Like-
my time with bartering. I can understand people. I can convince people. I can deceive people. I can perform my ass off. I don't bother haggling. I just don't care.
My job isn't to barter. My job is to get the shit.
Yeah,
Point
exactly.
A to point B.
And I have 12 gold on me right now and nothing to buy. I don't give a shit about bartering.
All right, so Sun, you're looking over the other end, and you, Sun speaks Torgish, right?
Sun would speak chit, and maybe bits and pieces like demonic.
Right, yeah, because Ken and Yi was... So Ken and Yi speaks some Torgish. You would speak, like, you worked inland with, like, the syndicate machine builders, right?
Yeah.
So you hear them, like, shout something in Torgish and point forward. You know enough to know what that means, but Ken and Yi's kind of cackling, and there's a low chuckle from Tiana. He goes, they just said, fuck yeah, church town. Okay, that way. Way, Debbie.
Let's go.
All right then.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need to maybe ask Ken and Ye or somebody if they can bring the silverware and stuff into town to, like, get it appraised.
Get it fenced.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? You just waltz in.
I guess I could get it
Crossbow in hand.
appraised. You don't need to barter to get something appraised.
No.
Just
I
to
can go
sell
with
it.
you for everything else except the bartering.
All right, so you guys are you're setting sail towards White Abbey. Which way are we heading?
White Abbey's east, eh?
Easterly.
Oh well, yeah, around the hooks. Yeah, we'd be heading southeast, ideally.
Yeah.
I have lost track of where
So we want to go above the thing?
I have the wind.
You have the wind.
No, we're going.
Can I see the
Well,
map?
let's pull the...
Pulling up the map.
I'm the map.
For the stuff that stream can't see that I have on, like, the GM side, you guys are making, like, almost like a 30-degree east-southeast trajectory.
Yeah, we wanna hook around.
Oh, okay.
Hook around there.
From here, if you go dead east, you'll hit the coast, and then by the time you hit the next map sector, you'll be able to hug it towards White Abbey. That would bring you the most effectively towards the Hookway.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's do that.
if memory serves and XSplit will let me grab stuff, White Abbey is like around here-ish in terms of the bigger map. It's like right around here in terms of the smaller map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, yeah, so we're going southeast.
which is where we would be going if you guys were up and about. Since Son has the wheel, he's just keep on moving south because he's lazy and doesn't want to change course.
Okay.
Good question. Where is Sun, and what's Tiana doing, and what's Kennedy doing? Because Kennedy wants to stay on the wheel at all times, so he doesn't have to get up.
Yeah, Son is in charge of moving the math, like adjusting the sails, moving Regan around, which is why he doesn't want to change course if he can help it.
Oh yeah, that's true. You would kind of just be sitting there like a dad at a barbecue, watching the sails being at the correct angle, going, yep.
God, that's such dad energy where it's just like, dad has a project, all of my focus is on this one singular thing. I don't give a shit about anything else.
Yep.
And then it's just like, oh, I need to do something else? Alright.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
So the wind shifts to a southwesterly, so if anything, all it does is add to your argument, and so begrudgingly everyone goes, all right, and they start setting sail. So heading dead south, you move just shy of that island, about a square shy of the island, and you can see it at the edge of the horizon. So you now have a physical comparison for the map, so you know where to go from here. It's getting towards the early morning. This is at the point where anybody from the late shift would start waking up a little earlier than normal. If they were to do that, now would be the time. Otherwise, what are you getting up to now? Rooker's awake.
Well, I'm still.
I want to see if Rooker's going to use any of those cool spices. See what his plans are with those cool spices.
All right, so Jane, you're kind of half awake, going what you gonna do with those cool spices? And Rooker kind of like puts a cup of coffee in your hand and goes, lunch, dinner, lunch. Whatever one you get two of. You get two of them.
Cool.
And he goes and gets back to putting things together. So the wind shifts again. It shifts to a direct western wind, opposite the direction you need to go.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
Mm.
Are we able to attack in the other direction, or is that kind of a lost cause?
You can go against the wind.
Yeah, it seems
Maybe
like
we
a lot of
head
work.
like not directly west. Maybe we head like southwest.
Yeah, but I mean, if we head southwest, we can kind of do a hook around the island the other way. We have to turn one way or the other.
Or sorry, southeast. I mean, if the wind is heading westerly, we don't want to head east. We could head southeast, maybe.
Yeah, southeast sounds good.
You
All right.
adjust your sails, and the way that the waves are crashing over each other, you kind of hit a sweet spot and get some smooth sailing. You make it almost 3 squares diagonally to the southeast.
Ooh. Yahoo!
You're actually very slightly outpacing the other ships. That being said, they're staying together for the most part. The other ships have already dropped off their loads. They're there for the decoy because the last chunk of your journey you expect to be probably the most hostile. But that's for another day. That's in the future.
Nice.
Currently, you just got to get to White Abbey.
Yeah. Nice,
It is-
peaceful White Abbey. Nothing ever has gone wrong in White Abbey.
Nothing ever bad happens in White Abbey.
Lots of wine in White Abbey.
What I love about this is that, like, there's this valid reason for you to be saying this about this city because something bad has happened at least once in White Abbey, but, like, literally, if I just give a city a name, that's the attitude you're gonna take. Like,
Nothing bad has happened in Newtown.
nothing bad happens in Bloodcrag. I'm sure nothing bad is gonna happen in Old Fort. Like, Dagger Bay, nothing bad's gonna happen there.
Nothing bad has ever happened to us in Dagger Bay.
Nothing bad has ever happened to us.
No. Nothing bad has ever happened.
Every place that you've been as players in this game before, it's like, oh, I know what's gonna happen there. I remember the bad things that happened. And then every new place, it's always like, that's a new place. I wonder what new bad things are gonna happen.
Nothing bad has happened in Backstab Creek, alright? Nothing bad has ever happened there. I don't know why you would ever be suspicious of it at all.
Backstab Creek is powerful.
That's a Canadian city name. Only Canada would name something Backstab Creek.
We literally used to go camping with my mom's side of the family in a place. It was in French, granted, so it's not one-to-one English translation. It was Bay du Diable, but like, we went camping at a place called Devil's Bay. Like, sometimes life's just on the nose like that.
Yeah.
All right, so if we want to head back to the map, it's late afternoon. Everybody should be waking up at around now. The wind is starting to catch. It was heading easterly when you were fighting it, or westerly rather. By now, however, it's flipped. You're heading around the edge of the crack. Like, this is the dice that did it, but conveniently it fits the geography a little better.
Mhm.
And you're catching the kind of like way that the airflow goes more or less away from it now. So it's really at your back heading dead east the way that you need it to. Who is doing what on the ship?
Since everyone's kind of up and about, I'm going to be doing some scouting.
All right. With ritual or druid?
Just ritual.
I'm gonna try to talk to Ken and Ye. Be like, do you need this? Could you like melt this metal down for any? Like, is this even useful to you, or would this be more useful for me to sell it?
All right. So the pair of them, I mean, Sun's going to say what Sun says, but Kenny looks it over and goes, honestly, it's probably better if you just keep it as is for selling it. I don't know what I would use this for.
I mean, yeah, that's a fine piece of silverware. You know, you're gonna get more for that than you will for the raw metal. If we wanted metal, we'd probably, sell that and then use the funds to buy some, like, actually shape metal into new parts. It's kind of how sort of production works.
Cool.
I rolled a 24.
Actually, and almost like offhandedly in a way that's just faintly insulting, Kanye picks up the like crossbow that's next to your bunk, like the new fancy Gucci one, and he goes, actually, if you look, and he points to the mechanisms that superficially look really, really nice on this thing, and he goes, this is what happens when you use things like silver for your mechanisms. You can see even here, this thing must have been shot like 5 times. It's already got nicks. I'm sure that someone rich must buy this, but this is actually terrible. Like, look at this, and he passes it over to Sun.
Yeah, nah, this thing's a piece of junk.
You look at it, and it's been finely wrought, but finely wrought in the sense that it was meant to get the maximum profit out of a very wealthy buyer, and not like it's meant to be an effective thing. You could sell this for a lot of money, but you wouldn't shoot it.
Yeah, here.
Fair
And yeah, take a look at this balance and all the weights on that diamond grape, man.
Yeah, there's
Silly.
on either side where like the drawstring connects, there's a little lion's head, and as sure enough, Jane, as you pick it up and try to balance it, it's like you can feel as you twist slightly to move side to side that it's got too much weight on either side of that head, and that's got to have like a weird thrum when you fire it.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Okay. Cool.
That being said, Jane, as you're holding it, you might be able to salvage parts from this. The stock seems fine. If you want to, like, basically a Gucci branded stock. Otherwise, you could probably get a few parts and that sort of thing, but otherwise, this is not a weapon that a fighter of your caliber should be even touching.
I mean, yeah, if you want me to fix it up, I can do that as soon as Otto's done.
As soon as Otto? Oh, Otto, right.
You forgot
Oh yeah,
Otto.
that thing.
I forgot you named it Otto.
Hey, show some respect.
I apologize.
Speaking of which,
Apologize to Otto.
I
now that
apologize.
everyone's up and about, you've got Rooker moving, you've got everyone from the other shift, you might be able to sneak back down into the munitions room. As for distance traveled, you catch a nice heavy wind, you're going downwind, you're catching it nice and hard. Smooth sailing. You end up moving.
Son says apology accepted, and just
Sorry,
sort of hands you the
I
rope.
had you muted. You're gonna need to repeat that.
Yeah, as you say, I apologize. Son says apology accepted, and hands you the ropes and leaves.
Thanks.
So you make it a whopping 5 squares.
Wow.
Ooh.
So I'm assuming that we're now in the E7 section of the map?
Yep, confirming. Yep, E7.
Okay. Just need to find the style for that because everything is still broken on my end. Oh, that just made the map go away.
Whoops.
It's
Oopsie
flickering,
doodle,
which
there it
interesting
is.
for us. Hey, nice. We have mainland.
Yep, I can break it, but I can also make it recover pretty quick. So that's
So I think you were, you're that distance away. So
3,
like,
4. That would be. Oh wait, no,
so you're
5.
past
There
the
we go.
island.
Yeah, we would be at 5 there.
So at this point, you've caught up with the hookway and you've merged with it. There's a lot of merchant ships going to and fro. You pass by this fort island and you can see them, and you get almost like the hairs on the back of your neck, like they're watching you, but they aren't going to dare while you're in the middle of the hookway.
Nice.
Currently, it is noon, lunchtime. What's everyone up to?
Soldering probably, or the closest equivalent.
Yeah, let's get some rolls in there. Kennedy is down there helping you out. Plus 15. He didn't roll so good.
Me neither.
Wow.
Did you actually roll
Yeah.
4 ones?
Crit fail.
Ooh!
Listen, it's a crit fail, but that brings me to a roll of 14.
Man, I love having
Wow.
plus 10.
We have risky builds on this boat.
Yeah. Tell me
We be
about
optimized, man. We be min-maxed.
I know. Goodness.
it. Not my shiningest moment.
Well, I'll give you a moment to calculate that because we have another section of sailing where you're probably going to be able to craft again.
Yes.
Nice. The wind
Redemption.
is keeping very strong, heading dead towards White Abbey. So let me just. So, you know how you did that ship upgrade? You upgraded your ship.
Yeah.
And you got all those extra things, and you have that bonus sail that gives you all the extra.
Yeah.
So you make it to White Abbey just fine.
Nice.
Ooh.
Sweet. Let's, whoop.
We're zipping and we're zopping.
We fast ship now.
Yeah.
So you're eating the last bit of like slapped together like pork chops, just eating lunch off the edge of the ship as you're slowly drifting into White Abbey. Here, they don't want to do anything where there's an audience, so they're not going to try anything. It's a very busy city, but perfectly safe port. You ease in, and there's a few people waving at you. You can see them following you as you go to dock in at your dock. Looks like Annalise, Annabelle, Anna something, who you met a little while ago, and the senator.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
And some with the dyed hair.
Hide your silverware. In
Right,
fact,
silver.
actually, you might be able to rope her in terms of fencing this.
So before we dock in, I'll say that this is as you guys are getting ready, you're throwing the ropes onto the dock and you're hopping off to tie them down. What's everyone's plans for the next 2 hours?
I'm chilling with
Wait,
Annalise. Anna, whatever. I'm chilling with Anna.
Are you gonna sell Rutger's good silverware?
Yeah, it was a gift.
No, I don't think he'll be too happy about that. You might want to talk to him first.
I did.
All right, then carry on.
From the distance you hear, she's right, you know, silver is a fucking pain in the ass to clean.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You
okay.
slowly, like, climb up to the dock. Before we do that, though, let's get some crafting rolls from Sun.
Crafting. Well,
Can I
I've
just
been
boon
crafting
Sun?
them.
I want to boon Sun.
Sure.
I feel like I heard him swearing from the last roll, and so...
You heard him swearing. You saw him come up with a bandage on his finger. He did burn himself very badly with all.
So I'm gonna boon him so that his next roll is just quality.
With plus 20.
All right, so that's a full 39 that I rolled. Plus 20 is 59.
What's the percentage at?
Oh, what is that percentage at? 59 plus 40 is 31.99. It's at 85%.
Oh,
So
shit, we're making
close.
progress.
We're making it.
All right, so you hear some clanging and banging and filing and the puffing of dust being pushed off of workspaces. Above decks, however, you slowly drift into port, you tie yourselves down, and the pair of them are down there, as well as there's a few guards just kind of nearby making sure they see there's a senator around, they're keeping an eye out. Annalise goes up and goes, I'm not sure if you remember, Annabelle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
I understand I didn't send in that letter. There was... they bought all costume jewelry, so I couldn't actually sell it for much of a profit. But, I have, I know that you had something in the hold that you were trying to get rid of, and it turns out we have a mutual friend who... So are we good for that boat ride? Are we...
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful.
Sure.
In that case, I should probably just get back to business, but it was nice seeing you.
Well,
Yeah.
perhaps we could have some joint business in this.
Huh?
Do you want to Do you want to take it from here, Jane, or like, do you want to?
Are we talking about the silverware?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have some silverware that I need to sell. I'll give you maybe 10% of it if you help me sell it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's take a look. She gives it an eye and goes, "Okay, yes, shouldn't be bad. It's nice actually having a moment, not running out of a dinner with a sudden revelation. Doesn't give you much of a time to wait. That oh yes, this should go for a good bit. Do you want to come with to the guy, or do you want me to just come back later? Or...
Oh yeah, well, I'll tag along.
Well, yeah,
All
but
right, come then."
yeah.
He goes, "Hook," and gets the bag over. Anything else then?
Plus the crossbow. We're gonna sell the crossbow too.
She grabs it. She just looks at it and goes, "Oh my god." 10 gold. I'll give you 10 gold right now. Just give it to me. 10 gold.
Come on, it's not even a good crossbow. It's mostly aesthetics.
Oh, that's what I'm buying it for. Come on.
Sure, man. Yeah, you could have it for 10 gold.
All right, she passes you 10 gold, and you see her just holding it, and she like poses. For the record, she's in the middle of a grift, so she's like wearing high nobility and like white abbey, like
Yeah.
very like prim and poofy and big, like cage around the waist kind of dress, and she goes, "Ah!" and she holds this crossbow.
Truly living the life.
Living the
Yeah.
life. Okay, cool.
So you make-
Let's sell some silverware.
So what's the senator got to say to you?
All right, so you guys head off towards the market district. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with the senator, and he goes, "Right, hi. It's been a while. How are you? Have you had any trouble? Things going good? How's
Yeah, everything seems to be fine so far. I mean,
Yeah, good. And he gets closer and closer, so he doesn't have to talk so loud. And he goes, "Hey, so I heard you have some pink and blue potion."
we had some pink and blue.
No, we do.
potion. We do?
Yeah.
We never sold it.
We never sold it.
We
still have
never sold. Okay. It's just. You'd be correct.
There's I got to talk to the right people to get you set up. I can get you set up in different towns, but I can't deliver it myself. I'm a senator. I can't be. But
Oh, understood. Of course.
underneath the abbey, there's a tavern called Gruzny's. If you go through there, the password is unicorn. They'll be able to buy it off of you. Just tell them that Franklin sent you.
it. Cool. Okay.
I'm actually writing that down because I know I won't fucking remember.
I also wrote it down, so we're good.
All right. So, is anybody going to go and drop those bottles off?
I went with Annabelle.
I would need someone to come with me in order to do that.
Get Tiano to come with you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tiana, want to sell some shit?
Yeah, let's do it. He said there is a tavern. We'll meet some people, see if there's some opportunities.
Yeah, if nothing else, we get a nice beer.
All right. Meanwhile, there's more than enough people to keep an eye out for the ship. Rooker and Bilgi are keeping an eye out in their shapeshifted form. So below decks, Ken and Yi and Sun. Want to give me another roll?
Yes. I'm using my big dice this time.
Such big dice.
I got a bad roll.
That wasn't terrible, was it?
With plus 22.
All right. All right.
So Jane, you're making your way through the market district. You're directed, and Elise brings you back and past a pawnbroker, and you move in through a side door, and there's a few people looking at you baffled, and then Annalise goes "Oh, come on, we've met. They look confused, and then you hear "What are you talking about?" There's a short, bent over dude who comes back going, "All right, Annalise, come here. What you got? Everyone around you kind of looks from side to side awkwardly, and then gets back to work. Okay, right. Oh, this is good. I don't know about this. This is, you know what? This isn't the most stylish thing, but the garish stuff sells better than the fanciest stuff because people think they can afford it. Okay. Think I can do 15 gold for this?
We should have stole way more.
Should have stole more shit.
We should have stole everything. Get Rooker to come pick up the entire fucking house and put it on the boat.
Nice.
All right. So in that case, Annalise, if it was 15 gold, then she would take home 1 gold, 5 silver. So the total would be 13 gold, 5 silver that you guys take home.
Okay.
Nice.
In terms of Crowquill, you're heading with Tiana with following like the senator's directions. You guys split off along the road. You hear yourself going along the main road a while. You make a turn along another main road, along a side road, and then you can hear the abbeys nearby. Go along an alley, down some steps. There's kind of like a grumbling. You can hear like very like heavy music playing, like dum, 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 dum. There's the grinding that you can hear is clearly like heavy, sweaty dudes in plate, all kind of like as you guys turn inside. There's a brief pause as there's a bunch of people that you can hear are looking at you.
Unicorn. Frankly sent you.
It can't just be like, yes, I'm here from a man named Franklin. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Told me about a unicorn.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna go up to like a barkeep or some shit. Like,
Or just pull out 2 of the bottles, like, eh?
no, that is the reason my son isn't here.
Don't hit power.
So you walk up, you clank one of them down. The bartender goes up, goes, "Hey, what are you bringing into my bar here? What are you bringing into my bar here?"
I'm here on behalf of a man named Franklin. Said I could order a unicorn.
Franklin, what do I look like?
He said I could order a unicorn here.
Pink and blue nonsense. What did you do? Bring some kind of mythical creature nonsense into my bar? I don't want any foreign alcohol. You got to talk to my manager if you want to bring something. Call the owner, all right? Come on.
Call the owner. Get him over here.
All right, fine. Let's get him over. What's he in back? I'll go in back and sell it to him.
Just to make sure I haven't missed it, you haven't said the word unicorn, right?
I said he said I could order a unicorn here.
Hold on, you said what now?
Guy named Franklin said I could order a unicorn here.
Oh, that Franklin!
Yeah.
Right, okay.
God.
So how many cases you got here? So, right, can I just get the number?
How much do we actually got? Because I don't have that written down at all.
Yeah, how many did we get? Because we got...
Let's see.
Did you write down?
It's possible that I did. No, I don't have it written. Oh, no, I don't have it written down.
Yeah, because it was like, I think it was 10 gold of the one potion, and then we ended up getting like 15 gold of the other potion.
Yeah.
I believe. Right?
Because one of them was at like it was at like a 50% increase in profit. The other one was like 20% increase.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you guys got more of the riskier one, so this should be...
Yes.
You bought 1 gold, you should be able to sell it at 1.2 gold.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we got 10 gold of it, so we should be able
12
to
gold back?
sell it for 12 gold, yeah.
Yeah, 12 gold. Okay, yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. You slam down the last of these, they slide you the 12 gold over and you pocket it. You make your way down, you breast past a couple of like awkward teenagers in oversized hoodies on the way outside. Who seem to be like mumbling on the way in. It's like getting close to the late half of noon, you can hear people talking in the taverns, and before too long, you've all collected back of the ship and you're ready to make some more distance.
Hey, yeah.
Is Annalise traveling with us, or is she still in the middle of a game?
No, she's in the middle of a gambit.
Ah, I didn't know if she wanted to get out. All right.
Just happened to be nearby and wasn't able to pass you the money that she promised you because it was costume jewelry, so...
Yeah. I didn't really care either way. Crocwell's really bad at the whole, like, money thing. That is what I'm realizing. It's just kind of like, she'll just keep swindling people, but it's just like, yeah, alright.
You do it more for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
For the goal.
Like, at this point, it's just fun.
Well, I'll give you guys a moment to calculate things as you unmoor yourselves and head back onto the ocean. You've still got to get to Redwine Keep.
Yeah, so that's like, what, 12 gold between 7 people?
There's 7 people on the ship, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So 12 gold between 7 people. I forget the exact, because we had split it up.
I know I put in 1 gold, so...
I'm pretty sure I put in 5 on that one.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I put in 5 and 5 for those.
Yeah. I put in like 1 and 1.
But
I
don't really.
Do you remember what you put in?
I put in more than you. I didn't put as much as Crowquell. So let's say
this is the situation I'm in. I'm just like, just give me whatever is the split. I don't care. Like, I put in 5 gold and I'm gonna get like 3 back or something like that, and I'm just like, all right.
go.
Crocwell's not making returns on investments.
You got the money coming in. It's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay,
The wind is shifted to go westward.
Well, we're heading southward, so that's fine.
Okay, Crocwell, you get 6, and you get 2.4.
Okay.
Cool. That brings me back up to 20 gold.
Yeehaw!
So you're heading southward, right?
Yep.
All right. The wind is nice and strong. It's the middle of the day. It's a pretty busy bay here, moving between White Abbey and Redwine Keep, and so you're able to keep with the bulk of the ships moving to and fro. You make a really hard and steady, about 4 squares diagonally. So you'd be just getting between those 2 islands towards Redwine Keep proper. You can see them on either side, flanking you. There's some fortifications, but you're not close enough to be within range of anything.
So what was that diagonally? Sorry. Like
About
2?
4 squares diagonally.
Oh, 4. Jeez. So we're like right around there.
Yeah, you're basically like between the 2 islands.
Yeah. Okay.
By now it's getting further past like the early afternoon into the late afternoon. What's everyone up to?
Also for silverware, I'm gonna split that up between everybody too. So everybody's gonna get 1 gold, 9 silver for that.
Not a bad take, not a bad take.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Crocwell's doing well for herself again.
I am crafting.
All right, I'm gonna get some rolls going in there from Ken and Yi.
All right.
So what's the sort of ship situation in terms of who's crewing? Is it still Crocwell on duty for crewing?
Right now, it is like it's a little bit past noon, so it's the gray area where like the evening crew is just kind of starting and the like daytime crew is just kind of ending.
I was already
kinda
up, so I was already up doing work, so I'll be up doing work. I'm assuming I'm taking over for Ken and Ye to do other stuff.
Yeah, you're following along with one of the sails, making sure that you're like up to key with it. Meanwhile, Ken and Ye has rolled a +20 to whatever you're rolling.
All right. Man, sorry, Chelsea.
That's
I really want Gabe to be at 99%, and then I do a ritual that completes it. So just during the night, hey, it's working now.
That would, I think, actually fit very well. Like, man, I am at 88% now.
Ooh,
So goddamn close.
getting really fucking close. All right. In that case, based on your distance, it's closer to the late afternoon when you start to pull into. The wind just shifts slightly, just enough to kind of swiftly carry you into the docks. It's the late afternoon, getting just around the tavern hour, and you guys have about 2 hours to kill. You're in dock here at Redwine Keep. It's a big, like a large fortification built off the side of an island. And while the one side is fortifications and ballistas and cannons and all kinds of things, the other chunk of the isle on either side is, like, you can see terraced vineyards spreading out, and you can see roads going to and fro into different farming villages further off the isles.
Craft.
All right. So as you guys moor your ship down, you lay down the ropes here. Kennedy and Sun are just immovable. You're getting close to the end of your steam for the day, but you're still just hacking, you're sawing, you're filing away, trying to get things at the right thickness, at the right gauge, just to make sure it's perfect.
I think I'm going to be inspired by their work ethic and try and work on my own project and do the ritual again.
Nice.
But this time I'm booning myself.
Plus 22.
All right.
I'm booting myself because last time nothing worked. I couldn't do any ritual things, so clearly I need more luck to get it to work.
We're at 90% finished, boys. 90%.
That's 12, that is 18, that's 26, and that's, wait, 36? Is that right? Did I do that right? Did I do that math right? I'm not sure.
I think 34 is the mathematical maximum.
34 is the mathematical maximum? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am simply just bad at math then.
Because plus 10 and then 4 times 6 would be 24.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did that wrong then. I did the mental math wrong.
I'm going to add 34. What's your percentage at?
My percentage is at 90%. I don't know what his is at.
Well, no, I'm at 34,
no.
and that gets added to yours as I experimented and found out earlier. So you get to add another 34 to your total on that one.
Goodness great. We are hurtling along here.
What about Jane? What's Jane doing here?
Holy ship stuff.
You guys have docked. You're
we're
currently at
docked.
Redwine Keep.
We're at Redwine. Oh. Probably walking around. See what's cool and new in the city.
All right.
Oh, I've also
There's
asked
another-
Tiana to pick me up a bottle of wine.
All right. So Tiana's walking around looking for a wine cellar. There's a bunch of them around here, so it's at the point where Tiana's looking for a wine cellar and has walked past 10. Do you have the percentage?
My percentage now is at 91.2%.
All right. So, Croakwill, as just the right moment where it clicks for you what's happening with where your magic's going, your ritual kind of falters and all the magic gets sucked up, and there's a spark of light from inside the munitions room, and you hear, low power, 5 degrees southwest.
Where's that powdered horn? Hey, hang on a sec.
Meanwhile, at shore, Tiana and Jane, you're just kind of walking around the dockside. There's a few different taverns open. It's like the early part of the dinner hour, so there's like spaghetti restaurants open. You can see people putting out bruschetta. Fine Mediterranean dining.
This is like the Italy of Bloodwine. I'm holding the table as like, cause she'll pull me so hard that the chair has wheels on it, so she'll pull like the chair. So I'm holding the table, and so
You're
like
making sure you don't get carried off by the dog like a horror movie, like it's Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, but I was holding the table just now, and she pulled me, which caused me to pull on the table.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Such powerful doggo.
she's very strong.
So you make your way back and forth, back and forth. There's a wine cellar wearing all black. You walk over, all the bottles are elaborate, like goth-ass bullshit. It's like, this is Dark Soul Grim Blackberry. It's got a cherry palette with a... It reminded my father when he brewed this on his vineyard of death and the way that life recycles death, and therefore with the soil. And the guy's like midway through, and Tiana goes, "Yeah, sounds about good for Croak Whale." And passes a few coins over.
Oh, I feel called out.
It's not necessarily it's 100% an alley, but in like the bougie way where you go in and it's like a part of the town you're supposed to be exploring. You move past like a little grate through a narrow area, and you're in where there's a bunch of different craft shops that are just starting to close up shop near the end of the day. There's a lot of undervalued and appropriately valued paintings up for sale. Otherwise, the city is relatively calm. Nowhere really to go. Not much to do.
This is like the Italy of Bloodwine.
Yeah.
I still envision it as the soccer mom village that it is in my head.
To be fair, like bad wine cellars and like poorly valued but also appropriately valued art is a very Niagara kind of vibe.
It's so Niagara. Like every single time you describe it, I get nostalgic of my home.
Your touristy homeland.
My touristy homeland.
This is probably where Jane is from too.
After a little while, you hear one of the Abbey bells from inside town. It's about time to get back onto the boat.
Okay, boat time! Woo.
All right. It's late at night. The taverns are kind of getting into the later section of their evening. You can see like the stars starting to peep through, even though the sun's just set like seconds ago. You roll up the gangplank, you untie the ropes, unmoor yourself. You and your ships start to make your way out. From here, you're heading out into open ocean. Not a lot of distance to go from here until Riverbend and Dagger Bay, and neither of those places are necessarily in the civil and kind seas you've come to love. It's going to be a little bit more harassed about, and that's what we're going to be getting back to next time. It might be next year, depending on what people's schedules are like. Probably not going to happen.
It will most definitely be next year.
Next year! Wow!
But it's really fitting for the fact that this is an arc about going very, very long hauls. So fuck it. If you guys want to catch the rules to this game, that's going to be at bloodwine.fandom.com. If you want to catch this game live, it's at twitch.tv/Croden Live now.
Yeah.
It's different.
I changed my name. I rebranded, except it's the same branding, just a better name.
Wait, what's the name now? Mr. Croden Live?
Yeah.
It's just Croden Live or Mr. Croden?
It's Croden_live.
Is there any difference for the YouTube?
No, actually, because youtube.com/Croden doesn't go anywhere. It's still youtube.com/Mr. Croden, but I have the Croden name.
Oh, there we go. We got the brand recognition.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything coming up, or is this kind of the tail end of streams for you?
I won't be doing a stream tomorrow, but we still have Fable on Saturday if you're available, Will.
Yeah, I can vibe.
Okay. So we still got Fable on Saturday, which is going to be the last stream of the year. And it's going to be a pretty good stream from what I'm anticipating. We're kind of in the last little bit of Fable before we get into Lost Chapters.
Right.
Is it the kind of bit where, because of the fact that we're doing the DLC, you don't want to say finale, but it's like it's getting there?
It's not, yeah, because we're doing DLC, it's not finale, but like, we're basically at the end of Fable.
Wrapping it up. Nice and
Yeah.
convenient. So yeah, that's the stuff that's coming up. We're getting close to the end of the year. We should be back after the holidays with some more fun old content.
Yeah. So, as always, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all your support, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.